Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Monday Sound Stream, where we have crazy news. There's a lot of weird news this week, and specifically, we also have like kind of crazy news. So here's our structure for the show today, so everybody knows what we're doing, because it will be like this. All right, so we got some news. The big news of the day, obviously, is Paramount is apparently buying Warner Brothers, and we'll talk about all the facts, all the things we know for sure, discuss that. We're going to do that at the end. We're going to do all the other news first, because we decided that the Paramount Warner Brothers news is like the big thing, and it's going to take some time, so we want to make sure that we've got all the other stuff out of the way.
We're gonna give you the straight facts, like first, then we'll go
Yeah.
into our opinions. And this will help because I feel like this whole Paramount WB thing is such a mess that like if someone has a question about it, you can like when the stream is done and and Sam puts all the chapter markers and stuff like that, you can just send them this stream to give the straight facts because it is honestly really confusing because there's so many
Yep.
like it really feels like Louise and Ant-Man like telling the story. There's so many like
Yeah.
twists and turns and stuff like that.
Let me check my notes here real quick. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 links for the news to keep all the things going. 13 links just for one news topic is crazy. So because of that, we'll go. What we'll do is we'll go through all the facts, and then like we can discuss it after we go through the facts, and then there'll be chapter
Yeah.
markers, so we can just have like because I think with these tough conversations and things, and just like when Netflix was buying Warner Brothers and stuff, we did that. So we're gonna do that to handle
Yeah.
it because
So
it's a
yeah. So
mess.
I recommend everybody save all your WB, Paramount, and Netflix questions into after we finish talking about the
Yeah.
facts. So we'll focus. So yeah, it'll be a good time, and we'll do a Q&A thing. If you have any questions about this whole ordeal, wait until we give the facts, and then like, you might want to put like a Q&A like tag underneath the box sent out after we finish the news.
Yeah, after we finish the news, I'll put up a little thing, and we can do that.
Yeah.
Because
So
we're gonna like just have to keep all the
mhm,
factual information straight, and then we'll go from there. Except for one
mhm.
thing, which is factual information that I'm going to debunk immediately. But we will be doing that when we get to it. But we do have some other news. It's not a lot. This is a really light week.
It's a light week with big bombs. Is I
Yes.
think pretty much what happened. The biggest thing now I need to ask is Wolverine still in the corner?
I think he is. I haven't. Let me check. Let me move the
Oh
outline.
man, great.
Yep, he's still there. I think he's gonna stay there. I feel like the news is responsible for that.
Thanks
In
for
fact,
reminding me of Dirty Dancing with that
You
sound
should,
out.
yeah,
Nobody puts Wolverine in the corner.
you should keep him. You should keep him there for the remaining of how you structure your room the next time.
hold on. I gotta give him a friend. He's looking lonely. Here.
Is it Scott?
No, I wish it was, but they didn't make a Titan Hero series, Scott. There we go. It's
Mini.
another Wolverine. Oh, you can't see him.
It's mini me. It's mini me.
He's actually about the same size. He just cost a whole lot more. All right, there you go.
No, wait. No, one's
There we go.
Dakin. No. It's one's Dakin and one's Logan. One's
There.
smaller than the other one.
That's appropriate. Actually, I think he's about the same height. He's just crouching. Anyway,
Okay.
there we go. Short King Logan meets an even shorter King Logan. So yes, all right. On that note, though, we do need to get to business because it's time to beat the Huns or whatever. Anyways, it's membership gifting time, so it's the first
Yeah, it's
stream
March.
of the month.
Holy crap.
Can you
Oh,
believe it's
yeah.
already March? It's crazy because I'm
Yeah,
like, I can't believe it's already March, and I also feel like February, like the last week of February lasted like 4 years. So
Oh my
I
god.
know,
for
right?
Real, it was.
So we have Acura Lee, Super Rob Quartz, Movie Slash, Justice Outlaw, Matthew Nicole, Bal, Guac Shah, The One Joe, and Gag Shi. Congratulations, everybody, for your gifting.
you have memberships for a month, and they will be cycled
Oh,
into
yeah.
the shout-outs of things
Oh yeah,
as we go.
Soundcast, as Master Ben mentioned, favorite starter for winds and waves.
Oh, that's easy for me. It's Palm
Which one?
Bomb.
It's Pom
Yes,
Pom.
Pom Pom.
I don't even
I
think the
love
others
him.
have a like even a shot.
No,
Like
it's
It's Pom Pom.
it's
It's
Pom Pom.
so
Like
it's
so
100%.
easy. So it's just the real question is, will he stay on all fours?
He
I love
better.
I love all the memes and seeing of that.
Yep. Also, I
My
refuse
favorite.
to believe it's March because it's 75 degrees outside right now.
Well, over
What
here
do you
it was
mean it's
20.
summer?
I mean,
It's 20
my
where
favorite.
Cows lives.
My favorite thing about the Pom Pom, my favorite meme for Pom Pom is the four like this a picture of him, but they had duct tape on top of his
oh yeah,
front
they.
paws.
Just to tape him down. Oh, that'd be great. I think the new starters look awesome. I was playing Fire Red a little bit over the weekend, and it was fun going back to my first video game.
I
Mhm.
keep thinking if I want to get it or not. I'm like, do
I
I?
might get it one
I
day.
gotta
It's
tell you,
not.
playing it on the Switch size screen is so nice because I actually dug out my GBA, and I was like, man, this thing is tiny.
Yep.
It's like the one that they said that did you grow up or did that shrink?
Exactly.
You know, like that.
Exactly. All right, let's talk about last week on the channel because I did a lot of comic. I sometimes my scheduling gets thrown off, and I just end up doing 3 comic videos in a row because I did a manga video, which is comics, and then I did a comic haul, which is comics, and then Wednesday's video is about DC comics because Friday's video is about Blu-rays. So you just get a lot of comics in a row. It's working though. Everybody seems to be enjoying the videos, so I'm not gonna worry about it. Yeah, the Bleak Status English Gundam manga releases. That was fun. So, yeah.
It
Everybody in the
really is.
comments was like, "Yep, pretty bleak."
Yeah, it's like it's a miracle we're getting that Witch and Mercury release. Honestly.
Yes, it honestly is. And then the comic haul, which had just a lot of trades. It was just a trade heavy month for me. But it's comic haul. I enjoy doing those. And then last week what was on shorts last week? Aka Ranger.
Yeah, Aka Ranger.
Yeah, I did him. There's gonna be a lot of shorts coming up. Just as an FYI, tomorrow's short is sponsored, and
If I got approval.
yeah, I got approval, and it's all good to go. Thursday's short will be sponsored, assuming it gets approved, which I haven't edited that yet, which I'll have to do after the stream, so I can send in for approval. Next Tuesday's short won't be sponsored, and I think next Thursday's won't be, and the following Tuesdays will be. And we'll talk more about that when it actually gets posted, but fun times. I also have another sponsored thing coming in that didn't give me any guidelines, so I'm probably going to do it as shorts. So
You're moving up in the world, Soundout.
moving up in the world. Companies are willing to send me stuff for review, which is nice. It's nice to be moving in that direction. So, all right. I'm not going to do deep reviews this week, but I did want to touch on 2 things. Where's it at? First of all, Monarch started. If you have Apple TV, all 5 of us. I've been waiting for the show to come back because this has consistently been my favorite MonsterVerse thing ever, and it still is. The premiere episode was amazing. It blows my mind that they do have the budget on this show to just have King Kong as a character. Like, not like, oh, here's one quick shot of Kong. Like, he's just there for, like, a chunk of the episode. And I'm like, I'm glad you guys have Apple money. Because the show wouldn't work without Apple money.
Probably helps also that I'm pretty sure it's probably the same model from
Oh, totally.
Kong, the last movie. So the artwork's already done.
I think it's like, because it takes place in 2016. So it's like a little bit after the first Godzilla movie. Of course, it's years after Skull Island, but still a few years before Godzilla versus Kong. So it's like they kind of I think they took the model from Godzilla versus Kong and then just like de-aged him to fit this, and it works. I like it. I will say that, like, if you are a big like kaiju fan, big MonsterVerse fan, it is definitely worth paying, or getting a free trial and binging the whole thing when season 2 is done, because I think the show's fantastic. Some Apple stuff has gotten Blu-rays, but the shows haven't. Maybe one day.
Okay. Can I mention, not to like solely rant, but like, God, what's that Masters Revolution Blu-ray like super limited print? Because why is it so expensive now?
I have no idea. There's a whole printing issue going on with Blu-rays and books right now because there's 2 Marvel omnibuses that come out this week that are already out of print, and I'm like, how can they be out of print when they haven't even released yet?
Yeah, because I'm currently doing like a master's marathon with my partner to get ready for the movie, and like I got the She-Ra Princess of Power DVD of the first 3 seasons there, did 4 and 5, why yada yada, and that's off Netflix, so I had to go find like a Yeehoing Google Drive link for that. And I was
Mm,
thinking, oh, like I've been thinking like I was thinking I should really buy that the CG show DVD eventually because it also was dirt cheap always, thankfully. And I was thinking, oh, let me go I should probably get the Revolutions Blu-ray alongside the CG show Blu-ray. Check Amazon. What do you mean, $300 now?
that's
I,
What?
I was like, what? I think that came out like 2 years ago or like something like that. Like,
yeah.
like the hell.
Yeah, Veloquence, the Omnis, it's the X-Men one. It's X Factor Volume 2 and Road to Onslaught Volume 2 apparently are already out of print before they even come out. And I'm like, again, how do you do that? But yeah, I wonder if Mill Creek is like gonna do a standard case version of Revelation
I
because
hope
it
so.
was a steelbook. Okay, so Ted Lasso and Severance have gotten physicals. Everybody's informing me. I think Monarch will, but I think they're waiting. I think they know they want to get people to watch season 2, and they want to get people to subscribe to watch season 1. Um, so hopefully in the future, because I like the show and I would buy
Also,
it.
also, man, I would say tracking down new adventures is hard. Like,
They
that
haven't.
show is
Well,
very
there hasn't been a. I think the last complete set of New Adventures was like 20 years ago.
yeah, like that show's like very anywhere. It's like I
The
get that show.
last time Mill Creek did any release for it, they put like 10 episodes of it on that big like He-Man box set.
Yeah, it's like it was so baffling. Where it's like I was because 2002 and Filmation
Mm-hmm.
Masters and She-Ra's are on Amazon. That's how we've been watching it alongside the movie. The Netflix has the Kevin Smith and CG series. She-Ra's gone. DreamWorks She-Ra's gone. Thanks. So I was thinking like, oh, let me check out like New Adventures finally because I wanted I want to actually watch it. That's like the only piece of Masters media I never seen. Where I could find it. Not not even like on the pirate the Internet Archive or anything like that. It's like damn, I know
Yeah.
like that show like considered the black sheep or something
Nobody
like that,
likes
but
it apparently to archive it online.
like Jesus Christ, like, Jesus
Yeah,
Christ,
Okay, I was right. The DVD set came out in 2006,
wow,
and
that
it's never
long
had a
ago,
complete set since. That was the last time they released it complete
damn.
20 years ago, and it's never been on streaming. I don't think. I have a weird feeling it's going to pop up on Tubi when we're not looking.
I hope.
Um. Anyways, other thing I watched. I went and saw Goat this weekend. I delayed it because I wanted to go see Crime 101 because I had a feeling Crime 101 would leave theaters before Goat. And I was like, all right, I'm going to go see Crime 101, which I thought was great. And I was watching the Elvis event last week. So I was like, all right, I need to finally see Goat. Not related to a company sending me anything. But, officially speaking. But Goat, I'm not a sports person, if you guys know. If you could tell. I don't know if it's obvious. I don't follow
Yeah,
sports.
and it's like, what is this a hand egg or a basketball? Sound that's a soccer ball.
It's Roarball. The thing is though is like I gotta just like shout out Sony Pictures Animation for me, not a sports person, really caring if the goat won at basketball. Okay, like I got really invested in this whole movie. I thought it was just great. Like it's not like I don't know if it was breaking any new ground, like story wise, but like it was just visually delightful. The characters were fun. Everybody had a character arc, which is very
Well, that's
rare.
cool.
Um, and also there's a weird lizard dude named Moto, and I need more weird ass characters like that because they didn't try to
And
explain
like
anything about him. They're
Mon-
just like, yeah, and he's just
oh, he's like
that's
Mondo
him.
Gecko.
He's like
That's
Mondo Gecko, except even weirder. Like, I don't know, there's this whole like ongoing bit where he just keeps holding a Fabergé egg like it's his child, and everyone's like, "What's up with that?" And they're like, "We have no idea, and we best not ask about it." It's great. And then at some point he becomes the thirst trap of the team. Anyways, the movie's awesome.
You
Yeah,
now see you now do from the sound of it, it's like, oh, so it's a sports anime because it's most
basically.
people I know most people say is like, oh, I'm not into sports, but I really like the sports anime and
Yeah.
such like that.
It's like that. And also one of my favorite things that the animation did is that the characters would stand upright a lot because, they're doing like an anthropomorphic thing, but everybody's still proportionately close to the animals they are. And everybody in universe is the animals they are. So like occasionally like the horse guy will just go into like a horse trot when he's like running down the basketball field, and it's just so clever. Because it's
I kind
just
of wish
funny because he'll go from like a man that looks like a horse to just a horse.
Zootopia does that because I think like
Yeah.
Zootopia they're just because Zootopia like sometimes they'll bring out their animal features, but most of the time it's mostly they're just anthropomorphic creatures
Like
most of the time.
Zootopia feels like it's commenting on human society with animals, whereas this feels like animals in a society, if that makes sense. Like everybody moves like the giraffe. The giraffe is funny because you can see in the poster how he's having to have his head dipped down all the time. He's like that through the whole movie. Like he's always like his neck is out of frame most times and he has to keep bending down so that he can see everybody like eye level. And then there's like a whole conversation of like only the big animals can play basketball. So like the goat being a small animal, they're like, you're gonna get killed out there. You're gonna die because
Mhm.
there's a giant grizzly bear that outweighs you 1,500 to 1. So it's great. I loved it. I had a great time. And I'm just like it impresses me that every time I see a Sony Pictures animation movie, I'm just like, wow, that was great. Like they've
They really
ever since Spider-Verse, they're just on a hot streak.
they really step up from the Emoji Movie days.
Yeah, it's like ever since then they just decided, you know what, we got to lock in, and now they're making me care about a goat playing basketball. All right, I'm
uh,
invested.
mhm. I'll blame it there. They mentioned New Adventures is on the YouTube channel. It is, but I don't think it's the complete series. It's only like a quarter of it and
I
such
think
like
it's the
that. That's the
episodes that
problem.
were on the Mill Creek anniversary He-Man box set.
Yes, that's the
Yeah,
problem. Is they had like a good chunk, but not the complete series, which is
it's
the
not all
problem.
60 some episodes.
Yeah, it's like 30 episodes. That's like only half of it.
Yeah. Was it as good
I
as
mean,
Space Jam? All right, can I drop a hot take on the stream this early? Is that allowed?
it's a really hot take because I'm pretty sure I know it is. A lot of people have that same opinion.
Space Jam isn't a good movie.
Yeah, a lot of people say that.
Like, I enjoy Space Jam? Sure. Have I watched it in full a second time in my life? No.
Yeah, same. Like I enjoyed the movie, but like it's not like like Back to Action is my go-to Looney Tunes movie. I
I
love Back
watched
to
both
Action.
Space Jam movies all the way through one time. Before the second Space
Like
Jam
wait,
came out.
no, sound. There's three. Remember? There's
Yeah,
hella
I was
three
gonna say
Space Jam.
I was gonna get there. Before I watched the second Space Jam, I rewatched the first Space Jam through the Teen Titans Go watching Space Jam.
Yep.
So, anyways, okay. I'm glad everybody agrees it's not a good movie because I saw like a ton of merchandise for it at Target, and I'm just like,
Yeah, for some reason, doing like a big nostalgia thing out of nowhere. It's like, huh?
and I'm like, I get the
Okay.
nostalgia for Space Jam, but like, I'm glad that nobody's pretending it's a good movie because it's okay. It's okay to like love a bad movie, you know. Like that's totally cool. I mean, certainly I got my list of movies I love that are terrible, but it's not a good movie.
You know what, though,
Goat
Ryan?
is a good movie.
You know what's funny? You know what's my favorite bits of spaceship? It's not the Looney Tunes, surprisingly enough. It's more the live action stuff. Something about like Wayne Knight's
Wait,
adventure trying to find LeBron. It's like
yes,
in its
Wayne Knight
game.
makes that. Also, Wayne Knight was in Goat. Okay, I'm always happy when Wayne Knight shows up. And
Oh,
unlike
also,
Five Nights at Freddy's, they remembered Wayne Knight's supposed to be funny.
also the subplot of Charles Barkley and Gank losing their sports power is funny to
Yes.
me. Him getting like owned by kids.
Oh yeah.
His own name.
You know what? That's actually a thing. I think that New Legacy, like the first Space Jam, was like Michael Jordan was making fun of himself with the whole like going around doing the different sports things, right? But like the New Legacy, like everybody took it too seriously. I think it's why it didn't
You
quite
know,
click.
yeah, no, LeBron's like, no, I need to make sure, like,
Yeah.
I need to give myself a character arc of being a good father to my son, my fictional son.
Exactly. Veloquent says Space Jam is objectively an amazing movie, and I can prove it. Proof. I was 6 when it came out and saw it in theaters. That's me hyping up some like superhero movies that I love. Like, is God, I was trying to come up with a good example, and then my brain just shattered in half. Is Batman and Robin a good movie? No. Did I watch it as a kid and enjoyed the hell out of it, and I ride that high every time I see it? Absolutely.
Batman and Robin for me is technically is a bad movie, but like it makes me smile because how stupid it is.
You know
That
what the thing
scenario,
is?
like,
I enjoy Batman and Robin more than I enjoy Forever, because Batman and Robin is what I call Batman and
Forever.
Robin. It is the modern reimagining of the '60s Batman show.
I mean, how can you not smile when Arnie freezes like, "Run, fuck you, the dinosaurs!" It's so fun. To see.
It is fun. It is
I
one
think
dumb movie
I think
though.
yeah, that's why it's a dumb movie. That's why I like it.
Yeah.
Forever is like, it's more of a tragic film because they clearly, like Joe Schumacher clearly wanted to make it like actual great like character saying Bruce, but W's like, nope, cut it.
Yep. Jeremy Carson's hot take: Howard the Duck is an amazing film, topical about immigration and American politics. Honestly, like the commentary in Howard the Duck is really solid.
I need to rewatch that movie.
Yeah.
I need to rewatch that movie eventually.
It's
I
got
mean-
some. The whole rest of the movie doesn't work, especially with the whole bestiality angle. But the actual commentary it has is pretty solid in there.
I mean, yeah, a movie that is like objectively bad. Two movies that are objectively bad, but I just can't help but smile every time I watch them. Is the original live action Street Fighter and Mario Brothers movie?
Yeah,
Because they're just entertainment.
they
Like,
are
there's something-
entertaining.
There's something like it's such an original Mario movie. Like, oh, there's something about it. I honestly am more impressed by all the crazy like Blade Runner. I mean, I know it's the same like art director of Blade
Mhm.
Runner, but like something about like the weird Dino world I really like. And also Street Fighter. I mean, Street Fighter is such a quotable movie for me.
Sorry, I will not be clarifying the bestiality in Howard the Duck on this stream today. Master Ben says, hot take for me, Batman 89 is an absolutely awful in my opinion. Alright, I'll say this much. Batman 89 and the first X-Men movie sit in the same camp for me, where I'm like, I like these movies as movies.
They're bad.
They're horrible adaptations. But as movies, I like them. But as adaptations of the comics, no way.
Very similar to how I feel about 2003 Teen Titans. Great show. Not at all a good adaptation of the comics at all.
Exactly.
And to be fair, they do improve a lot of the a lot from the comic.
Yeah.
Mostly it's really to Terra.
I think it's the thing is that like I feel like for every it's a weird balancing act, right? Like they improve on Terra, but then they downgrade like Beast Boy. Then they improve on Raven, but then they downgrade on Starfire. Like it's just you can't get quite there. But that's a whole conversation for a different stream.
Man, all I can think of Beast Boy nowadays is his Young Justice Suppression arc.
Yes.
I keep rewatching the Doom Patrol Gold bit because it's both sad and funny at the same time.
Yep. It's kind of mortifying. All right, let's get to the news. We're going to talk Blu-ray news first. Discotek is not ready for a stream yet, but they keep dropping things that are coming up. First of all, they have licensed Pat Labor Early Days, the complete OVA series. And this is surprising because it wasn't actually that long ago that Sentai Filmworks had Pat Labor. And I said to myself, well, I have that Pat Labor Sentai Filmworks Blu-ray and I never watched it. Should I get this? And then I saw the typesetting that Logan of Discotek is doing, and I was like, yep, never mind, I do need that because
I have I have a Sentai Pat Labor set, but I think I got the wrong one because I think I got like I think it's Pat Labor's the Case Files, which is like a sequel thing. I was so confused because Pat Labor's because there's a anime timeline and movie timeline for Pat Labor.
Yes, there's two separate timelines. There's the anime, there's the TV series timeline, and then there's the OVA and movie timeline. So this is the first thing Pat Labor put out. Yes.
Yeah, so like I didn't watch it because
timeline, I think, because it's the OVAs go to the movies. Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't watch it because this is clearly like a sequel thing. I rather watched it first. So like
it's confusing enough that the back of the Sentai Filmworks set had a little timeline to tell you.
Yeah. So like I definitely getting this because it's the first in the timeline and such like that, and so
I am gonna upgrade. Maybe I'll actually watch it this time.
Also, because I think the masters are much better than the Sentai.
Probably, and even if they are the same masters, they'll be rendered better on a Discotek disc. Sentai Filmworks discs are hit or miss.
They kind of just do where they were sent scenario like that.
Not to harp on Teen Titans. Veloquence mentioned that people are mad at the 2003 Teen Titans designs because they believe they ruined the character designs in the comics. I think every design in that show is great except for 2, Cyborg and Jinx. Cyborg does not have enough flesh. They downplayed the flesh side of Cyborg. He's too robot, and I think that's a problem because we've seen going forward, every Cyborg design is less and less human and more just robot with a little face thing. And then 2, I don't like Jinx because they whitewash Jinx.
I like Jinx. Jinx is actually my favorite character in the show, but I don't always just view her as a separate character from the comic one.
I don't consider her the same character from the comics for a lot of reasons, but also ethnicity.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, they totally did. I mean, she's more gray than white, but still, like, I definitely get it. But like, I just really like Jinx's character, a lot. Like that episode with her and Kid Flash really was like a big favorite of me as a kid, and that's still like my all-time favorite episode.
I like everything. I like everything about her, character-wise. And you treat it, and that's why that show works when you treat it as a completely separate thing.
Yeah, I view her as like whenever I say Jinx is one of my favorite DC characters, I always have to specifically say the cartoon version because I have not read anything with the comic Jinx. Scenario like that.
All the Hive guys, nobody knows anything about the Hive people from the comics. It's all the TV show that brings it in. Also, to roll this around, the best Cyborg design we've seen in the modern day was the one from Doom Patrol, the TV show, because he actually had like a balance of human and Cyborg parts.
I actually really like his Young Justice design because they really remember he's supposed to have human bits.
Exactly, the human bits are like essential to the character as well. So, all right, let's move on. Lady Oscar, the Rose of Versailles Complete Collection. This is a licensed rescue from Right Stuff, the corpse that Crunchyroll keeps defiling every week. So that's cool. That's coming back. And also, apparently, they already did this. Never mind. I forgot history. I'm not reading either. They already did this set previously, and they just combined. So, oh, yeah. Okay, sorry, I was reading the chat. There was a guy that was doing X-Men reactions, and he started running out of X-Men, so he started doing Teen Titans, and it was like the first time he ever saw it, and he's not a DC guy, and it's been really funny with me watching it, and he's like, this character certainly is Tim Drake, and I'm like, wait till you see the Nightwing episode.
I think it's funny. Now, the term Royale X-Men is funny to me, because I know, apparently, it's in the media, yes, but how much content X-Men comically are, it's just funny to hear that.
Yep. And then the last announcement is that the second Loop on the Third TV Specials collection has already been announced. I had speculated these would come quick because most of these are already on Blu-ray, but I think back-to-back announcements, are we going to get like one of these a month or every other month? That'd be great.
They saw your video.
They did. They're like, let's get these things out. Because with this set, there's nothing that hasn't been in HD before, so this is just a complete like repack. Totally cool with me. I need 5 more slots on my shelf, so I will totally buy this. I want to keep buying. I will buy all those collections. If they're coming out that quick, even better. Even better. All right. Let's talk about the next thing. Crunchyroll has delayed the Dragon Ball Daima home video release from March 3rd to release at a later date.
That's so weird because from what I understand, like this was very much a stealth delay because like they didn't really tell. They didn't tell
anybody. They didn't send an email saying your order's been delayed. What they ended up doing was the date disappeared off Amazon. Amazon took away people's arrival dates, and then Crunchyroll deleted the pages to both Blu-ray releases on their site. And then they had to and then CBR reached out because they heard about it, and then Crunchyroll said, both Dragon Ball Daima Limited Edition and Standard Edition Blu-ray box sets originally announced in December to arrive in stores March 3rd have been delayed and will be released at a later date. Updates to the street date will be made as soon as they have been determined. There's no explanation for why they were delayed, but I have a speculation. Daima only ended airing in Japan like a year ago last week. And I think maybe they jumped the gun and it hasn't been cleared by Toei yet to actually release this soon.
Is the series completed in Japan yet? The home media release?
I believe so. I can go check. Let me go check real quick. Because it's usually a year later, but sometimes Crunchyroll, because they're owned by Sony, have been able to get stuff out quicker. And then sometimes insanely slower, like whatever happened to Chainsaw Man.
Yeah, because I think they don't want another. Because was there a thing where it's like the Japanese company does not want the U.S. companies to release stuff too early because they are afraid that import like fans of Japan will import them for cheaper and such
Yeah.
like that. Snare.
That's always been the case, and I wonder if that's one of the cases. There have been some people that got shipping notices, like Muteki got a shipping notice that says his dime is on the way, and I'm curious what you will get on Tuesday. I have no idea, because according to Crunchyroll, it's been delayed, but you never know. Stuff happens, and if it is a case where some people get them, that would be like, okay, maybe that is
They'll
like
slip out. They slip out.
maybe it is. They literally just have to hold it back. Also, I'm having trouble finding the Blu-ray set on CD Japan right now. I know they did one. I know they did one in
Yeah.
Japan because they
But
did
I
a
just don't know.
4K, and the 4K
Yeah,
was
we
bad.
just. Oh really? How bad?
It,
Also, see, it's not just the U.S. side. It's just Dragon Ball and me in general.
it's funny. We were talking about like, oh, they're gonna like, there. We said there was going to be something wrong with this release. I just don't think we expected it to be delayed last minute with no warning. Like we expected it to be like, it's all green.
How bad's the 4K in Japan for the Japanese release?
It apparently like it was upscaled, so it's not even full
Oh,
4K resolution. So you're
so
paying
it
double
looks
for
like
nothing. That came out
it
back
looks
in
like
July. The Japanese Blu-ray set came out in July last year.
probably want to wait until
Yep.
later, maybe. Yeah.
Also, adding to this, Google is so wrecked right now. I had to dig into Blu-ray.com to find it.
I love that.
So anyways, updates in the future, I guess, on that, because that's all we got. All right, we got one more news story, which also has very little detail because it's just a listing. But Deep Discount, owned by Alliance Entertainment, who now owns Mill Creek, known as Alliance Entertainment, have listed the Ultraman Great plus Ultraman Powered Complete Series combo.
Smart idea to combine them. Smart idea to combine them both because they're not long enough to be like a full complete
Yeah.
set, and make it play the two international ultras together like that. It's really smart.
And also, 4 discs for that is great. I almost would have expected them to cram it onto 3, but 4 is great. And then also, it's set for May 12th, but we've seen with Mill Creek dates that could slip. And it does list original language English and subtitles English, so this isn't for certain because we know how the listings sometimes don't line up with the final release, but it's possible we're just getting the English language audio for both of these, not the Japanese dubs.
Which fine.
It's fine.
That's
As long as it
fine.
has the English audio. Like, because that is the original audio.
They redub both some reason.
They redub them into English, even though it was filmed in English. I mean, look, after the USA thing, I'm just setting expectations, right?
But they still get Jeffrey Combs. But they still get Jeffrey Combs to redub himself.
No, they get Jeffrey Combs to redub everybody.
Everyone's Jeffrey Combs.
Everybody's Combs. All right.
I hope for the Ultraman Great part they include the. Have you ever heard the English statue, like the cut open English? I love that opening. It's such like a Christian rock band song. I love it. It's like
I have a weird feeling that
Ultraman.
we're gonna get that, but not the Japanese song. I think that's what's gonna happen.
Which is fine, which is fine because I think the English one is superior to the Japanese opening for Great. Because like there's something about like Ultraman Great.
Yeah.
I love it so much.
All right, Fighter Chaos, I got a question for you. Do you like comic books?
Yeah.
Cool. We're gonna talk about comic books.
Oh, that's it.
That was it. I didn't have any deep questions this time. All right. So Marvel Epic Collections have started hitting the catalog. So I decided let's start looking at them with the catalog because I wanted to talk about these in relation to their prices. Because when Nearmint Condition does the Epic Collection announcements, which are always fun, we don't get the prices with them until they hit the catalog. So I was like, let me save our discussion of Epics until we get the prices. Because prices. So let's start off. Generation X Epic Collection Counter X is $55 for 472 pages. Marvel, you do know DC's putting out 630-page finest for $40, right? You do know that's your competition, right?
They don't.
They don't. That being said, oh, they don't have the contents here. Anyways, this is the last of the original Generation X series, and luckily, they beefed out the rest of the contents with the 4-issue Chamber miniseries from the 2000s. So
What year was? Okay, 2000s. Okay, I was gonna say that
yeah,
looks familiar.
it was like that late 90s period into the early
Yeah.
2000s. And so it's going to finish off Generation X, which is nice. Master Ben said, are you reading the new Generation X book? No, because it's an X-23 comic that's just repeating every single story Laura's already had. Like, please do not tell me about more of her clone siblings. She's had enough. We did this already. That being said, rest in peace to the artist on that book, because he passed away from open heart surgery at like 48.
Oh jeez. Oh
So
jeez.
that's awful. All right. Hulk Modern Era Epic Collection Fall of the Hulks is also 472 pages for $55. This contains both sides of the crossover. It's kind of like an event epic in a way, because it actually has all the tie-ins and stuff. Because there was 2 Hulk books at the time. There was Hulk and Incredible Hulk, but they're merging them into the same epic line, same way they did 90s X-Men.
I need to pick up. I need to pick them up when they're on sale or something. But I really want to pick up these Hulk because I really like this era of Hulk a lot.
Mhm.
This the Ed McGuinness era for Hulk a lot. So like, I'm really tempted to pick this up.
Ed McGuinness is
Considering
an
that.
underrated Hulk artist, because for some reason people don't give him credit, when I think he's like one of the best Hulk artists to ever live.
I like. Yeah, I like
Yeah,
my.
I
Like,
love
I
Ed
like.
McGuinness's art. Yeah.
Yeah, I like the creepy, like realistic Hulk art, but like I don't know, like the Ed McGuinness like exaggerated, cartoony art style
Mhm.
just
That's
works so well
exactly
with Hulk.
why. Yes.
It works great, especially when you're doing all these crazy multi-Hulk things. Great time. This is a fun era. I like this era. All right, Captain America Epic Collection of the Lazarus Conspiracy, which is $4.96 for $55.
Great, let's all bully Tony.
Yeah. Hey, look, it's the ending of Civil War. Everybody just gang up on Tony. Love it. Love it. All right. X Factor Epic Collection, The Morlock Massacre, which I believe is the X Factor issues of Mutant Massacre. Because there was events like Mutant Massacre and Fall of the Mutants where they weren't really like part 1, part 2, part 3 across multiple books, but it was more like, what was this team doing during this event?
How much doubling up is there in X-Men Epics?
Surprisingly, not as much as you'd think. I think the most it gets to is, I think, Executioner's Song doubled up. Because what'll end up happening? Let's see. I don't have one currently, but like, if there's a storyline like Executioner's Song where the core parts of the story are across multiple books, they'll include that entire core crossover in a volume. But then the issues before and after it will relate to whatever team that book is. So like, there's basically like the Executioner's Song volume of X-Force is the main Executioner Song story, but then it has like the X-Force related tie-ins, whereas the X-Men version of that volume will have the core story plus the X-Men related tie-ins, and then usually a few issues of the series that take place before or after. So it's like it's not as bad as the Omnis, where the Omnis will sometimes have completely mirrored contents, but it's more like, those events where they're all involved will be part of that event is going to be in every book, basically. And then there's other ones like Operation Zero Tolerance, like the Generation X volume that has those issues just has the Generation X issues, and it gives you like text recaps of what happened in Zero Tolerance. So, yeah, there's some overlap, but it's not as bad as I think it could be. It's actually well managed, all things considered. All right. Thor Modern Era Epic Collection, Fear Itself, which is $50 because it's less than 400 pages. I think there's a consistency in pricing here, right? If it's over 400, it bumps to 55. It's under 500, it stays at 50.
Is this the first Thor
This
Modern
is
Epic?
the
At least the
third one.
okay, because I recently at the comic shop because they had it in the discount shelf. I actually got the first volume of the Jason Aaron run of like of the Dicker trade. Like they did those like Dick trades for Jason Aaron's run.
Yeah.
But like I think those are out of print, so like hope that bleeds through because like I've been
I
meaning
think
to read more.
they're probably mapping the epics to line up to those. Oh, actually, this is the fourth modern Thor. Sorry. Yeah, we got 2 in 2024, 1 in 2025. This is coming 2026. So that actually is the fourth Thor, and it's actually contains the Fear Itself miniseries. They're starting to do this now, because this is the thing with epics. They would avoid the event miniseries, even if they were related to the character, but they're actually including the Fear Itself miniseries within the Thor epic line, which I think is great. I think it's perfect. It's like, there's certain storylines, right? Like, Devil's Reign is technically a street-level hero, team up, but it's a Daredevil story at its core, so it should be in Daredevil collections, right?
Mhm.
Me showing my limited reach of this knowledge off the top of my head by just going with Daredevil. Yeah. Ace, do you know when the next DC Sliz is going to be? It's any day now. They're going to start adding stuff to the catalog. Like, we're going to be talking about catalog editions for like the next several weeks before the catalog is finalized. So, and then we also have Star Wars Darth Vader Modern Era Epic Collection, The Chosen One, which is the third Vader epic, 328 pages at $43, and this one is the Charles Soule run, which I think is fantastic. So, it's good stuff. All right, continuing, Daredevil Epic Collection Resurrection, which is more of the Frank Miller run. Once again, $55 for 496 pages. That is Daredevil 177 to 193. Because unlike the Omnis, they're going through all the issues, not just the ones that Frank Miller did. Then Ghost Rider Danny Ketch Epic Collection Bad to the Bone. This happened because I said in the video they hadn't announced another epic yet.
I still probably am just gonna get the
when they're $55 a volume, you might as well buy the Omnis.
yeah, because it just saves me money.
exactly.
It just saves me money at that point.
Because what is this?
Like,
This gets us up to issue 24. That means the first two epics are part of the first Omni. And the thing is, at the price they are, the first Omni comes with more material than the first two epics do. So you're not really saving any money. And you can get the Omnis on sale a lot easier, too. So, yeah, I don't recommend these over the Omnis unless you're like diehard epic only. In which case, this is volume 2.
You'll probably be like 80 when they finish.
Yeah.
80 catch run.
That's why I'm glad I dropped these just to go with the Omnis. Because we got the third Omni coming this year, and the fourth one's probably coming next year, and there's going to be like one more, and then we're done. Whereas the epics are going to take forever and miss stuff.
Because I forget, because with Finest, they do a year. Like, it's like, for like what, Batman, it's like 19.
Yeah, with Batman, it's like 2 years. I've noticed it's just like whatever fits within 600 pages is typically what they do.
There's no, like, from what I understand, there's no real pattern of how many issues are in an epic nowadays.
Yeah.
Like, which is why I feel annoyed trying to collect try to get epics, because like I feel like I feel like I'm not. I feel like sometimes like they probably do structure it where it feels like a complete, like, oh, you finish reading it, you feel complete. But I don't know. By the looks of it, especially the prices, I feel like I don't feel satisfied getting epics versus Finest when it comes to something like that.
At least with this, I will say it is a good reading break, because after issue 24 begins the Rise of the Midnight Suns. So it's like it's a good break at that point. That's where the first Omni breaks. So that kind of makes some sense that they broke it here. But there's some other epics, like Generation X has like some of the worst gapping, where it's just like it ends and it's like, I was in the middle of a story arc. Why is this the break point on the volume? It's a tricky business for sure. But I was looking at this, and like this, if you're looking to get the epics instead of the Omnis, you're missing out on the Spider-Man crossover issues, the Punisher War Journal issues, and looks like most of the Marvel Comics Presents stories are also not in the epics. They basically are sticking to some Marvel Comics Presents plus the main issues and the main graphic novels, which is kind of how they do the Wolverine. Because Marvel Comics Presents is just a whole thing. It's like, are you going to dedicate like a third of an epic to just short stories from Marvel Comics Presents? You can throw them into an Omni a lot easier. So I get why they do that. And a lot of them aren't like essential storytelling. They're just like, here, we're selling a book on 3 characters. And the headliner this month is Ghost Rider. The headliner this month is Wolverine. So, anyways. Moving on, all new Wolverine Modern Era Epic Collection Orphans of X, which is the second volume that gets the second half of the Tom Taylor all new Wolverine series. That's 416 pages for $50. I just got the first one, and Target sent me a copy with a folded cover. So that's on its way back to Target.
That's the one. I was wondering, it's like you mentioned that in the last haul. I'm like, wonder what that was. Okay.
Yeah, because I was like, oh, I'll get the first one, because they announced this, and I'm like, all right, I'll get the first one, I'll get the Batman black and white, buy one, get one half off, cool. I get the all-new Wolverine, and the cover's folded, and I'm just like, well, That's going back to Target. My
Yeah,
replacement
because
should be here in a couple days.
I don't because I don't mind a ding in the corner or something like that, but like
Yeah.
stuff like that's like nope, that's returning because like
I got a Sailor Moon Volume 3 in from Barnes & Noble where the top third of the top right corner was completely caved in on the spine. And I was
yeah, like
like,
that
nope.
one like I don't mind a ding. I don't mind a ding here and there, but like when when it like looks like a chunk's missing, then like that's a return right there.
Yeah.
I did want to get the Laura Wolverine 'cause I really do love Laura Wolverine, but ugh, those prices, man.
Yeah, because like luckily with the buy one get one half off, I paid $27 for the Batman Black and White and like 25 for the Laura Wolverine, and I felt okay with that. Whereas with this, I'm probably also gonna try to get it on sale because like $50
Do you
for.
have Superman Red and Blue? Because you have Turtles, not
I
Batman.
don't, but I'm trying to track down a copy. It's on my list.
Get one. Get one. There's some great Superman stories in that.
Yeah.
Man, there's some great Superman
Also,
stories
it's
there.
funny because like Target's a weird beast. I got this Danny Ketch Omni from Target, and it's like completely undamaged, right? Like 0 issues, but yet I got the Wolverine paperback in, and it was folded in half.
Sometimes it feels like with Target, it's always like depends on the person
Yeah,
shipping it. Because when I got my Turtles, NECA 2012 Turtles, they were like packed like dense,
I think
dense
NECA
in there.
actually ships those because they do that with Walmart as well, where like NECA ships it through Walmart or Target because like they're always like super well packed, and then anything else I order from Target, like I got a couple Mario figures in, and they literally the box wasn't big enough to fit Birdo, so they just shoved Birdo on top and then taped it closed, and so the package was bulging. It's just like
The mental image of the
just
Target
get
boy
a
is like
bigger
that.
box.
The mental image of the Target boy going like this in there, just shoving Birdo
Yeah.
in there.
That's how it felt like. Yeah, Buteki, I did return the Wolverine because they made me return it before they'll send me a replacement. And I was like, okay. So I mean, I got it coming, so hopefully it's better this time. All right, and then that pretty much covers the epics. So for now, there will be more in the future. In terms of reprints, there's not. I don't think there's any. I think there's like one
I mean,
reprint in that batch. No, there's no reprints in that batch. Actually, sorry.
actually, speaking of things to get, are you planning to get that new box set Viz announced for One Piece?
Yes, absolutely. I've already decided I'm just going to start building up my Barnes and Noble rewards now and see how much I have by December and see how much I can knock off the price.
I should do that for My Hero box sets probably.
Yeah, because like I can build up rewards pretty good, and also I want to buy the rest of Sailor Moon. And if I buy it through Barnes and Noble, then I'll get my points, and
How
then
good? How good is Barnes Noble shipping? Is it or is it like a mixed thing also?
it's pretty good because they have actual book mailers. The Sailor Moon that I got from them that was damaged was not. It was not the shipping problem's
Was that
fault. It was damaged at the warehouse. Because
okay?
the
Was it,
package
did
the
it get,
package was fine, but that corner was caved in. So I was like, oh, that someone must have dropped it in the warehouse.
so was it Ace Ventura scenario?
Right. That being said, also, if you have a Barnes and Noble store, pretty much everything that's on their website you can just have ordered and delivered to the store. And I've had like no issues with books when it goes that way because I think they look at it and they handle it different. Because it's
I
being
should
shipped to
order.
the store itself. So
I should order more for Barnes Noble. I think the weirdness with me with Barnes Nobles is I made my Barnes Nobles like awards account years ago before I made like so like I just did it through like we'd like to join for a membership program.
mm,
I did, but I didn't make it through the site. So like I need to like find a way I could see I can like
what
because I
your
haven't
member number is?
yeah, I need to go like so because I have an account membership. I have like an account Barnes Nobles, but like it's not true like logging into the account. I was like accepting from the
Yeah.
store scenario. So I need to see I can like
I pay for the membership to get the discounts too. And so they gave me a physical card. I gotta tell you, it's like the coolest feeling. When they're like, "Do you have a rewards account?" I'm like, "Yeah," and I just like hand the
yeah, I
card
see.
over.
Yeah. I think because I got like because I've been I've been using my Barnes Noble membership like for like since like 2014.
Mm,
I want to say. So like I need to update that eventually and such like
yeah.
that.
Because like it was funny though. I took the Sailor Moon I took it to the store to return it, and I was like, "Yeah, I got this in. It's not great." And they're like, "Do you want to order another one?" I'm like, "Yeah, could you order it and ship it here?" And they're like, "No problem." So it was super nice. It was really easy. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah. All right. Speaking of reprints, JLA Avengers is coming back. This was the thing. This was the crossover that we kind of missed from the Omnis last. Was it last year or the year before? was the year before,
Year
wasn't it?
before, yeah, I think it
Yeah.
was the year before.
So the Omnis didn't include Busiek and Perez's JLA Avengers, which was crazy. But it is coming back. What is going to be done is it's going to be done in facsimile style. So each individual issue will be reprinted for comic shops, and we will be getting, basically Marvel will publish issues 1 and 3, DC will publish issues 2 and 4, just like they did back in the day. This is great because getting these books back out again is awesome. Now, everyone's probably wondering, but are they going to do a new collected edition hardcover? Not officially stated yet, but every single insider I follow has said, yes, it's coming probably for Christmas. So if you're not a single issue person, there is a chance that they will be reprinting this into a big edition. We don't know if they're going to reprint the Absolute Edition or if they're going to make like a new Omni or Deluxe Edition or something.
Here's the
So
thing.
we'll see,
Here's
but I
the
feel
thing.
like it's happening.
Who's for Christmas? Which Santa's story? Is it the mutant Santa or the one that dicks around with Darkseid?
I think the one with Darkseid. He's gonna give us that. I think it's gonna be him. The one that leaves Darkseid cool. So this is great though. I think this is great to get it back out again. Some people discuss like, oh, why didn't they put it in the other Omnis? And first of all, I think they were running out of page room. Those Omnis are thick. Second of all, it's because this series is like the best Marvel DC crossover of all time, and I think they know they can sell it on its own as a separate book. Why have people buy 2 books when you can have them buy 3? Because we all know we're going to show up for this one. That's the kind of thing. So I think this is great. I'm hoping what they do is maybe offer it in a couple formats. Because like Veloquin said, I'd like it in a deluxe edition or an Omni that'll match the other 2 Omnis. It'd be nice if they were in a consistent collection. But then also, I think the Absolute Edition would sell if they put it out again. I don't know if I'd buy both. Then again, I'm doubling up on the Etrigan the Demon stuff. So who knows? But it's exciting it's coming back. That's the important part. It's just a great year for crossovers coming back because the Invincible Spider-Man crossover is coming back this year too. So good stuff. All right. Bleeding Cool ran an article about the Marvel cutting Imperial off at the knees. That was it was the new Imperial was the new Marvel Cosmic Corner. And we had talked about, I think we talked about last week that it seemed like it was ending.
Last week.
And so we got confirmation of that is the case. And Bleeding Cool ran a whole thing saying that the whole event was slashed. The whole event and the whole experience was slashed due to disappointing sales and lower than expected audience figures. I want to know, what was Marvel's expectation of the Cosmic line? Because the Cosmic line has always been one of those, doesn't sell great, but boy, those are some good comics. Like, for the entire history of the characters.
I swear, if their members were like, "Oh, Guardians 3 did very well. We want those members."
Or
no, you
what
fool,
if they were like, "We want X-Men numbers"?
Like, no, you fool. You don't. This is a new imprint because we haven't got like a cosmic imprint in Marvel for a while,
Since
right?
Annihilation, basically, because Guardians is the only cosmic book most times.
Yeah, so like you can't expect something new. Like it's like. Because that's the thing, like for them, like I'm not sure, like when the Ultimate Universe first, like the new Ultimate Universe first came out, I'm not sure what their expectation was, but like it probably definitely meet expectations. The fact, for example, like that. So like I hope, like because like you can't just expect something new to do off the bat that's like new and established. You need to grow a fan base.
The only names here that pull people in is She-Hulk and Black Panther.
Can't even say Guardians because
it's when not Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, because Pure Guardian is the Guardians of the Galaxy. They're people's like casual fans that go like, "Oh, that's something different."
Yeah,
because the name's not the same. It's such like that.
So the interesting part is that all the writers were given a 1-shot and 10-issue contracts, so 11 issues in total. But then everybody got cut off at the knees. Black Panther got cut down to a miniseries. Imperial Guardians got cut down to a miniseries. Planet She-Hulk and Nova Centurion are ending at issue 6, with confirmation that issue 5 is the end of their planned stories, and issue 6 are quick wrap-ups. And Exiles just isn't happening, I guess.
Wasn't for Punisher? Didn't the writer like talk about where it was it came out of nowhere about the cancellation?
She said it came out of nowhere. They didn't have any heads up ahead of time, and they just completely got sidelined by it, and then just now it's all ending really fast. There's an interview you can find for her as well. But like, yeah, basically, what's wild is that the books are just all going to end really quickly, because in March we're getting issue 5 of each of Nova and She-Hulk. And we're getting Imperial Guardians in the last issue of Black Panther. April will be the last issue of She-Hulk, second of Guardians. I think, because when does Nova end? Does Nova end in actually? Nova also ends in April, I think. And then May is going to be Guardians. June is Guardians, and then July is Guardians. The whole thing's done. Yeah. So here's the thing too. Ace says you would think Marvel would at least not kneecap it this much so they could sell trades, but now all the series are going to get rushed and ruined. That's the thing. The trade for Imperial, the event that kicked off this era, doesn't come out for like 2.5 more weeks. Like, or 3 weeks. It's actually for 3 weeks from now.
If there's anything we have learned for all these news coverage, is Marvel really likes kneecapping themselves so much.
Yeah. They don't give anything a chance to grow. They want immediate numbers up front. And that's it.
Well, maybe if they really want numbers up front, maybe release your trades like as soon as the month after the series, the mini-series ends, release the trade.
Mhm.
That's why Image. Why do you think Image is doing super well? Because you release the trades as soon as the arc's done. I can't believe DC and Marvel still don't understand that. I don't get it.
And I think also a frustration that I have with Marvel too is the fact that, they say, oh, this will be at least 10 issues, and then they're just like, nope, never mind, it's a 5-issue miniseries. Like, come on, that's
what Ryan said. I've been saying what Ryan's been saying of just release a trade when it's done for. I'm actually doing the math here. 14 years.
Yeah. I know, right? Because that's the thing. I still don't understand why. I still don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
Like for that, for manga, I understand why they don't come out right away when like that amount of chapters. Because sometimes volume releases the manga like redraw certain panels.
And also you get a thing where like in Japan, like the last Dragon Ball Super volume, like, or well, quote unquote last, because we just don't know what's happening with that. But volume 24 just came out, and that was a year after it came out in Japan because they're on a year delay because that's what Shueisha wants, right? There's no excuse for a comic that you own the complete rights to be taken that long.
Yeah, like seriously, like this releasing once the arc's done. That's what.
And also, from what I understand, Marvel doesn't even care. They don't care about trade sales as to a longevity of a series, which is insane because the absolute universe is thriving off of trade sales.
Majority of comic readers, I do mean it. Majority of comic readers are trade readers
or digital. Trade and digital are the two best ways for people to read comics, but yet Marvel only cares about physical comic pre-orders.
Like again, which is unique. Again, kneecap yourself because again, the thing about comics, why is more harder to get at least into single issues is not everybody has a comic store near them.
Yeah. Very few places have a comic store. Very few places have more than one comic store.
So why are you kneecapping yourselves? Kneecap yourselves with that, using that as your metric of what's the success? Because you're already that's already a kneecap because there's comic stores aren't as prevalent as they used to be.
And a lot of people have been saying when it comes to Marvel, like the new people in charge are very much just like getting to like they want the slimmest of profit margins, and that's why there's 2 Omnis coming out this week that are already out of print because they only want to print as many as the pre-orders demand and not keep any stock for after, not realizing that you will never build a customer base that way.
So you tell me is like a lot of the current staff are very much that like collector, like current scalper collector's mindset or something like that.
Yes, and also all the editors at Marvel have been there since the company went bankrupt in the late 90s. And they've not brought in any high level editorial that's anybody that's not been there for 20 plus years at this point. So they're out of touch. Like, plain and simple. Also, I want to give credit to DC. I was just checking this. Absolute Flash, right? The first trade for Absolute Flash came out December 23rd, 2025. The last issue in that volume, I think, was this issues 1 to 6? Yeah. Issue 6 came out. Let's see. Issue 6 of Absolute Flash came out in August. The trade came out in December. That's a 4-month gap, right?
It's too, which was sooner, but it was better than say the Donna DC. God,
Yeah.
I hated how they released the Donna DC trades. It took forever.
But here's my point. Absolute Flash number 12 comes out March 4th. Absolute Flash Volume 2 comes out June 23rd. They've reduced the amount of time between the trades now. Instead of it being 4 months, it's now 3. And I feel like they're trying to move those up because the Absolute stuff's selling in trade very well.
Absolute's doing great.
Yeah,
apparently
it's the 8 million copies sold so far.
Haven't been reading them.
I'm glad Ace is enjoying Absolute Flash because I feel like it's the underrated book of the line. I'm enjoying it so much. It's possibly, I think I'm enjoying it more than Batman. I think it's my number 2 now. With its recent couple issues, I'm like, oh, I think actually Absolute Flash. I think my ranking is now Wonder Woman, Flash, Batman, Manhunter, Superman, Green Lantern. That's my current ranking of them. I can't even bring myself to read Green Lantern. That's how rough that is. And I like Al Ewing. I don't know what happened with that one. Anyways, DC's getting better at the trade gap. Marvel's getting worse at it. Because how long ago did Imperial end? Because I feel like it's been forever.
It was summer. Was it summer? I swear it was summer.
It was. Let me show you. Okay, let's go look at this. All right, yeah. So Imperial. Okay, Imperial was June through. Let's see, when was Imperial number 4? Imperial 4 was October, and the trade comes out late March. Is that a full 6-month gap? Yeah, 6-month gap between the final issue and the trades, to the point where all the books are already canceled before the trade even comes out.
That's bad, man.
It's so bad. It's so bad. Let me check on something like X-Men. Is X-Men running quicker? Because I wonder obviously publishers have to take priority. I think also Marvel could just stand to publish less comics in general. They put out way too much. Yeah, let me just check a flagship title.
The problem with Marvel is they publish too much, but the problem is they're all miniseries and there are multiple ongoings and stuff like that.
They never seem to commit to anything. That's why I kind of I told my comic shop, just pull Imperial Guardians off my pull list. There's no point. I'll just buy the trade. I'm not even going to bother reading it monthly since we already know it's dead. There's no point to reading it monthly.
At least with Josh Williams' Iron Man, I am at least confident. I am at least confident that's at least gonna make it to 10 issues because it's one, it's a major character, but also 2, it's a popular writer. Josh Williams is a very popular writer. So, I have a feeling that at least it's gonna last a little longer.
Well, Jed McKay is a popular writer, and they kneecap Nova at 6.
Mm.
Anyways, so okay, Uncanny X-Men 25 comes out in March. Volume 4. Oh no, the annual comes out in April. Volume 4 comes out in July. So it's only a 3-month gap on Uncanny X-Men. So they at least are somewhat improving on flagship sites. So there's that. Yeah, Mutek, I just don't want to buy a comic in singles that I'm just going to buy and trade anyways. I need the trades for my Guardians shelf and my Cosmic stuff. I don't need the singles. I only read the singles to support the books. And I already got 2 books that aren't even lasting more than 6 issues. I could have just waited for the trades on all of these. Because I waited for the trades on Black Panther because it's a miniseries. I waited for the trade on Imperial Guardians because it's a miniseries. There was no point in me buying these monthly. I tried to support, and Marvel said, nah, screw you. We're just going to end it at 6. Speaking of screwing customers, you guys ready to talk about a major merger that happened? And no, not the Paramount one. That's later. We got to talk about the one that happened in manga. You guys ready for this? This one sucks.
This one makes me sad.
Yeah.
You mentioned Aqua Ranger earlier, and I was about to be like, no, I can't read the manga anymore.
Yeah,
I don't know.
We have a whole big story here with the manga publisher 7 Seas. They have been acquired, and there has already been a crap ton of drama, and this news broke less than 24 hours ago. And guess what, guys? It's our favorite words. Employees screwed over in AI. So we're going to go through this together because we have to. Also, I will admit there was a statement made from 7 Seas today about the whole situation, and I found it to be completely worthless, so I'm not including it. All right.
Is there one of those auto response kind of messages pretty much what I've seen?
Also, shout out to Manga Alerts on Twitter. They're one of the few people keeping track of all this stuff really good. I am not covering Hasbro suing the government because I feel like that's not going to go anywhere.
What?
I'll talk about it in toy news. I'll touch on it then. Let's focus on this for a moment. So, Media Do, which is a Japanese company, is acquiring U.S. manga publisher Seven Seas for 12.4 billion yen. That's approximately $80 million USD. And as the reporting, Seven Seas didn't issue a statement, but they have. So, this is the thing, is that Media Do is not quite loved in the industry for several reasons. First of all, Seven Seas employees were not told of this acquisition ahead of time and are finding out about it at the same time as the public. Nice job, everybody. Really good start, right? Good start. The employees are finding out right when we are. All right, next up, Seven Seas did release a press statement. They say that it will continue to operate under its existing leadership team and editorial direction. There will be no changes to distribution and publishing schedules or core operations as a result of this transaction. All Seven Seas print imprints will continue to be distributed worldwide by Penguin Random House Publisher Services. And then this tweet from Ori Senpai really just summed up my feelings. That's what the Crunch said after it turned right stuff into wrong stuff. I don't believe companies when they say nothing's going to change, because if nothing's going to change, why'd you buy it?
I know they make crunchy, but it's like the crunch
Crunch.
candy bar.
Yes, the candy
crunch
bar.
candy bar.
Yeah. All right. So, continuing further. Well, what about the potential of AI translation being used? Because there's a Nikkei article and the Seven Seas press kit. Seven Seas says they will not use AI translation for their titles. Media Do, who now owns Seven Seas, mentioned that AI translation will be used to assist translators. But both statements are, in Manga Alert's opinion and mine, vague, thus causing confusion on how exactly AI is exactly being used in this instance. The next part, what about the Seven Seas Union? Because, yeah, Seven Seas is one of the few companies in the manga and anime sphere to actually be unionized. Their employees have a union.
Oh, which is, I didn't even know that, but that's good to hear. Well,
Yes.
was good to hear, I guess.
It was good to hear, exactly. So, here we go. There's no specific mention of the Seven Seas Union in either press statement. It states that the company will continue to operate under existing leadership and editorial direction, but similar to talk about AI, its vagueness does not clarify how the union will be affected. The fact they didn't tell a unionized workforce that they were being bought out, that's a bad sign.
Like, I'm not sure that's, I'm not sure, like, I don't know if, I'm not sure that, like, I mean, like, if it's most unions, I feel like they should tell that scenario.
I feel like even if you're not unionized, you should tell your employees that your company's being bought.
But especially, but like, even, like, that's what I mean, right? Like, I feel like when you are a union company, that should be, like, priority?
Yeah.
As a union company? Like, that's even more, like, what?
Yep. Alright, and then lastly, shout out to Scratch That Out, also known as V on Twitter, for this. The Japanese side of the Media Do announcement is way more overt, saying it is an AI takeover and it is intended to put translator and editors. They also claim the translation process takes 6 months per volume, which is not true. And apparently it'll save them $700 to $1,000 per volume.
Wait, did they bluntly say, yes, we are planning?
Yes, it says the plan is to increase the number of titles, including electronic versions, to around 2,000. By increasing the number of titles handled by Seven Seas, sales to bookstores will be strengthened. Profitability will also be increased by developing and selling goods featuring manga illustrations. Seven Seas will also be able to act as the liaison and handle negotiations when local film companies approach it about adapting manga into anime. The company will use its own artificial intelligence AI to assist translators in translating manga to English, shortening the translation time from the current 5 to 6 months per volume to about 2 months. And as people that work in translations say, it's 6 months for the entire publication process, not 6 months to translate a volume.
Yeah.
So, we don't know what's going to happen, but getting bad vibes all around.
It's so weird they just blatantly say, yes, we'll take over, we'll have our AI take over everything. It's like, it's so blatant.
Yep.
There'll be no problems at all.
Oh.
Jeez.
Once again, this is what the Crunch said after it turned right stuff into wrong stuff. I like calling it wrong stuff now. I want to call the Crunchyroll store wrong stuff going forward.
It sounds like the anti-universe version of
yeah. Right Stuff.
Their logo has a evil goatee on it.
Yep.
But like, man, this sucks because like Seven Seas is like legitimately one of my favorite manga publisher because they publish all the cool Skier titles.
Yeah,
I
they
really
had the
like.
Toku ones, the Go Ranger one, and a couple. Yeah,
I mean,
They
like,
gave me Devilman in hardcover. AI won't give me
Yeah.
Devilman in hardcover.
exactly.
I mean, yeah, I've been getting like mysterious appearances or Hokkaido gals, and Tomo-chan's a girl. Like they publish a lot of my favorite stuff, and like hearing this, like shit.
Yeah.
Man, it's like one of those like I want to have hope, but like it's very low.
It's weird because like I don't trust Toho as a company that much, but every time they've acquired like a distribution arm, like when they bought like G Kids, and but their way their statement was just like, oh yeah, we're purchasing G Kids because we don't have a distribution arm in North America, and we wanted to be able to utilize this, but we'll still keep contracts with other people. It won't just be us. And so far, like the Toho ownership of G Kids has been totally fine because
Yeah, it's actually okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
because
and I think what it is they're a
because
company that bought something they didn't have. What I see with a lot of these mergers and where I get a thing is like it's just like when Crunchyroll bought Right Stuff, everybody asked, but why? Right Stuff is an online store. You already have one of those. Why do you need to buy this? And then what did they do? They merged it into a Crunchyroll store and made it shitty. So with this, it's the same thing. MediaDo has a manga translation distribution arm. They don't need to buy another one. And so the fact they are buying another one is what makes me worried.
I forget. This year was like True, but wasn't there like a report of like the warehouse that Right Stuff was still
Oh
available?
yes,
but-
apparently Crunchyroll did not buy the Right Stuff warehouse. They just bought a licensing agreement, and they've been basically stripping the whole warehouse apart, and now they're selling it. So that whole part
what?
where they said nothing would change about shipping and distribution, just the web store, was a complete lie.
Yeah, like come on. Like,
So
because that's the thing about like the Toho deals. They actually are doing something with their deals. The problem with the Right Stuff buyout and this, well, this is too new, so we just need to see. But the problem, like say, the Right Stuff thing is like there is no improvement. Like if Crunchy would have bought Right Stuff and just have Right Stuff be his own, just Sukati just be his thing, but now sell more of like Crunchy stuff, fine. But they didn't. There was no like there was no advantage of Crunchy buying Right Stuff and such like that. Like here, like with Toho buying G Kits and all the other companies, they've been actually take advantage of them and stuff like that.
yep. And they've actually been using their new assets to actually produce stuff. As Ender said, say this with me, kids, market control. That's what it is. They buy out the competition so that there won't be any competition. We've seen Hasbro do the same thing. We're about to talk about Hasbro.
We've seen G Kids we've been seeing a lot more like G Kids produce dubs more than ever now. For example, that's the advantage. I think that did came from them buying G Kids is now they have a proper U.S. branch to make all these dubs and stuff like that now.
Yeah, it adds to their company instead of just being a redundancy to kill the market. All right, let's go to toy news. All right, toy news. Hasbro is suing the government. I guess I felt like I was like, this isn't that big of a story, but it actually kind of is. Let's update everybody.
I think just the phrase
Yeah.
Hasbro's suing the
I did forget about the comedy potential of the headline.
I mean, it sounds like a comic already.
I know.
This
is actually where our news stories of the day start going off the rails, everybody. I just want you to know. It's all crazy downhill from here. Right.
Now I was just imagining Hasbro barging in the government with their Beyblade launchers and shooting their Beyblades fighting the government.
All right, so
no wait, Hasbro versus the government. New age of
exactly.
Yep.
New age of litigators. It's just like.
So let's backtrack the news because look, a lot happened in the last week that I kind of forgot this happened until everybody started mentioning it in the chat. So the Supreme Court decided that the current U.S. president cannot just impose tariffs without Congress approval, which is true. That's like a legal thing. Like he did it illegally to begin with, but they ruled that his tariffs were illegal. And then after the fallout of that,
he got mad.
Then he got mad. Then he put a tariff on the entire planet,
Yep.
Because it's what he does. And now companies like AmiAmi are like, well, we're not going to ship to the US again because what the hell's happening over there?
Oh yeah, they're like
Yeah.
all the other like I haven't seen like HLJ say anything yet, unless I missed it. But like every other like shipping company, Japanese goes like, yeah, we're gonna wait until we know what
Yep.
the hell is going on because we don't even know ourselves.
Exactly. And then, anyways, so the thing is that there was a couple there. I think governor of Illinois was like, you know what? I'm going to sue the government for all the money that people are owed for how much tariffs they paid when they shouldn't have. And then now Hasbro is part of a group of companies that are all suing the U.S. government over having to pay tariffs. Now, I got to tell you guys, we're going to see absolutely 0 cents from this on our end. All right? We're not getting any refunds from Hasbro for their prices. Best case scenario, Hasbro successfully sues the government, gets their money, decides to lower their prices down and say, look, everything's back to how it was because we won our lawsuit.
You can like us again.
Yeah, I feel like because the thing is, they wanted an excuse to raise prices. They got it. Now, if they want an excuse to lower prices and bring people back in, this is a good way to get an excuse to lower prices. Let's see what happens. I don't know if it's going to do anything. I don't even know if this matters because this news story came out before everything that happened over the weekend. So, that's just how we go. All right, moving forward.
It's just the phrase Hasbro
suing the government.
Funny.
Yeah. All right. So, thanks to Angel Joe Collectibles on Instagram, mirrored by Power Ranger on Twitter, we have a look at the Playmates Saga, who looks pretty good.
Honestly, it looks pretty damn good. Like, of course, it honestly looks like besides some things, it almost looks pretty close to the Legacy one. Honestly, like
yeah, it's honestly it's proportioned smaller, obviously for like kid size, but I think it's looking pretty good. And that handle looks thick. Well, I'm hoping it's got like maybe like a cool feature with the mouth opening because the mouth does open. So
probably not like animatronic thing, but like at least like
maybe like the original toy where you push a button and his mouth opens.
But probably more like actual like puppet instead of the weirdness of the original toy where it barely opens.
Would it talk to you though?
Hopefully,
probably.
They've had a bunch of sounds in these toys so far.
I mean, it won't be Tony Oliver. It'll be like Playmate Janitor, Playmate Janitor, like 500.
I also like the Tiger Zord coin trying to escape the display.
It is.
And then the other thing is the Tiger Zord, which is actually coming out as promised. The thing that's weirding me out is it looks nearly identical to the Bandai Legacy one.
Legacy, I was saying, it looks damn good. It's like, damn, like that.
I was like, that's just the Legacy mold, right? And then I'm like, oh no, actually it's different, slightly different, but actually it's really good.
It might have leg movement. It looks one leg looks clearly further than the other.
Yeah, I think he's got knees. I think he's got working knees.
No, he doesn't know how to hold his sword.
Yes. He's still learning. He's fresh from the womb. I'm actually like my hot take always is the Tiger Zord is like 1,000 times cooler than the Dragon Zord, and it's always a better toy.
Because I can do stuff.
Yeah, it was great. But yeah, that's from the display. You can kind of see down here at the bottom of the picture. It's next to the Thunder Megazord.
I see a lot of people say, "Oh, is the Tiger too small?" And then people need to remember in the show, like yes, they're the same size, but in toys because the whole armor up gimmick.
Yeah, he's the same size as the Dragon Zord, the Red Dragon Zord.
Yeah, Red Dragon. But yeah, that's just how it works in terms of with the whole armor gimmick and such like that.
Yep.
there's this thing called mass shifting in the show.
It's called still the same height person is wearing the suit.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, let's go to the SH Figuarts news because we got quite a bit. I'm going to kind of tap and go on a bunch of these. Like, for example, Hibiki 20th anniversary version, they put him in another color because the paint they use on Hibiki's suit means it changes with the lighting conditions. So this one's more blue than purple.
Why are you blue?
I think it's a little too blue, personally, but...
Yeah, that's a little too blue for me. I don't know, just Hibiki, I'm always associated as purple.
Yeah. But he's basically the same figure, just in a slightly different paint scheme.
That's purple! That's purple!
Hey, at least it's not green. Toei. And then, here's actually really cool. We're actually getting his bike, which he used, like, I think 3 times in the whole show, which is just a standard-ass bike.
I think just a bike.
You can tell he was not planned to be a Kamen Rider. And you can see the bike works with, of course, all the figures. The cool part is it does come with some extra effect pieces, like the cool fire sword effect, as well as the purple flame breath effect. So, pretty neat. Those are both on P Bandai in Japan, Asia, and the US. All right, Mandalorian and Grogu are getting another Figuarts release.
Look at this proud dad and his son.
I know.
I
So cute
do love the title. It is actually Figuarts, the Mandalorian Grogu bracket Star Wars bracket the Mandalorian Grogu
Grogu,
bracket.
yes.
The main characters, the Mandalorian and Grogu, are back with new design for the latest film, the Mandalorian series, the Mandalorian Grogu.
This is why I say that that title's terrible, right? Like, it should have just been called Star Wars: The Hunt for Jabba's bitch-ass son. Anyways,
I'd now be to search for more money.
yeah, I mean, basically, I do like Grogu with the little armor thing. It's very cute. Look at him; he's ready for war. Yeah, that's releasing in all regions.
I want Grogu to wield a gun in the movie.
He better. All right, next up, you guys know how they, put out the Gavan Infinity trailers in English. They distributed the show free on YouTube in the US and did all the marketing they could, but then just didn't simulcast the show. And we're like, wow, that was a whole lot of legwork for nothing.
We're getting
the Figuart, though.
I'm waiting 5 episodes before I go, all right, jump to the fan subs.
Yeah, I watched the first 2, and the show's really solid, and I'm like, Toei, you're fools. Get this thing over here. What are you doing?
The new for a new IP, they want to that's the thing that's the problem with with Gundam Infinity or the Project Red stuff. For being a new IP, they're not treating it like a cool new IP. Is the problem with it.
Exactly. I will tell you this much too. There was a bit of a conspiracy theory running around the fandom, which I was like, yeah, okay, maybe that Hasbro did manage to block the show from airing because of Gavan being reused in Captain Chaku in Beast Morphers. Well, this confirms it wasn't, because if they were blocking a show, they were going to block a product. But it's coming out in Japan, Asia, Europe, and Latin America plus. It's coming out in every region. This figure's less restricted than Kamen Rider. Okay.
I mean that's
seems to be the point, wasn't it? Wasn't that the point?
Yeah, exactly. I thought that's what the point was this whole time, was to make it available worldwide.
I would say with that crackpot D with that day, I think if that was the case, I feel like in that scenario he would be under. I always imagine they were always under series franchise titles and not individual character titles like comics. So I feel like Captain Shock would be under Space Sheriff, but this series is called
Super
Project
Space
Red.
Sheriff. It's Project Red, and then the series within it, Super Space Sheriff. Yeah, I feel like it.
Yeah,
and it's also we know they don't have any restriction over it because we got Gavan on Blu-ray and on Tubi without any Hasbro involvement. They just own the rights to Gavan's footage within GoBusters.
GoBusters, yeah.
Yep.
Say with Jirai with Skyfire and stuff like that.
Yeah. So at least we're getting the Figuarts, which is nice.
I forget. Was there blockage for B-Fighter stuff?
No, we don't know yet, because Discotek hasn't touched any of it. The trailer for Hokkaido was not blocked though on the Hokkaido Blu-ray, which also has B-Fighter footage because it was Hokkaido, B-Fighter the movie, and whatever Sentai was that year. O-Ranger? Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, the thing is that Peacemaker said there was one of the producers said they wanted to see if it succeeds in Japan first before going international. I have a feeling that makes some sense, but they really made this show insanely international friendly, so I'm shocked they're not doing it.
I guess he takes the gun.
Besides the gun, the actual show, the way it's written, the way it's set up, the way it's it's very international friendly. I feel like it would be a big hit over here. And I think it'd be, honestly, a big hit everywhere. So I'm hoping they just, get the nerve up and start going. Now, if the rumor is... that's right, yeah, Hasbro's blocked B-Fighter product. I just don't know if they affect the shows. Anyways, the thing is, the rumor... or not the rumor. Yeah, the rumor is that Gavan Infinity is only going to be 25 episodes. And so maybe Toei's waiting till it's done and then distributing it as a full package.
Sure. Oh.
Which maybe? I mean, that's an option. I do think they should get this thing over here, though.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe they'll dub it. Who knows?
That'd be cool.
They really want to make it. I honestly be doom and gloom, but if I still haven't watched the show yet, and because I am hoping it will get a international release.
I decided to
There's
give
an
it
ad-
2 weeks, and I was like, okay, fan subs, click. Like I just really wanted to watch it. So,
They catch him on Zest, because I've been hearing things about the
oh, it
newest
got
episode.
insane. It got nuts.
Yeah.
I think
Zed's
Also,
got-
I wonder why the anime Figuarts are like 9,900 yen consistently when this guy's 8,250 and he's got metallic paint and all his weapons.
I mean,
Yeah.
have you catch him with Beat Break? They've been doing some crazy
That
stuff
show's also.
recently.
I love how every Toei show is
fine,
insane right
yeah.
now.
I was
Like,
not, I was not expecting human trafficking in Digimon, but like I'm kind of all
But
for
here
it
we
for
are.
going this nuts,
Yep.
especially the recent episode.
Yeah, no, I gotta like Zet's Beat Break and Gavin Infinity are like 3 of the ballsiest shows I've ever seen Toei produce, and I'm really happy they're going for it. You know, I'm happy with it. All right, guess what? One Piece live action's coming back soon, so they are like, hey, you want some Figuarts? We're gonna give you some Figuarts. I'm like, all right, I'm a sucker. Let's
Also,
go.
also, sorry, anime fans, but like poor Chopper. Chopper's clearly the moneymaker right here for the season 2.
Yep. So, first up, Chopper's coming out in August, and he comes with his medical vial, and he looks cute, and he's adorable, and here he is next to Luffy, and he's got all these face options, and people were confused. They're like, he comes with how many face plates? He actually doesn't come with that many. He comes with a set of eyes, and he comes with eyes. He's got an eye plate and a mouth plate, and you can swap them out into different combinations. So, like, for example, here you can see he's got 3 sets of eyes and then 4 mouths, basically. And so that allows him to come with all these different facial combinations. You can't do
Yeah.
that with the anime one because it's
It's
the
flat.
design works.
It's flat.
So it basically looks like that. And then as you can see from this photo, yes, Sanji and Usopp are finally coming, with Usopp releasing in September.
I would say, man, they should update Nami, Zoro, and Luffy because they look rough next to
Yes,
Usopp and Sanji.
they got
especially 'cause
much better at this. Also, DLC faceplates for Chopper included with Usopp. But yeah, if you look at the shot here, like Zoro, Luffy, and Nami, Zoro, Luffy, and Nami just don't look like they match as well.
They had that like figure face print problem where the two like pixelated looking and stuff like that.
And because it's
Also,
been like 3 years since they came out, the tech got better. And so I kind of, you think, we don't necessarily need to re-release the figures because I know they didn't sell super well. But could we get like, you could just throw faceplates in as DLC.
or make their season 2 looks, or also. I mean, it's funny that I do love people pointing out that the Moose Toys Luffy is more posable than the figure art Luffy.
100% more posable. Also, these are season 1 versions for Usopp and Sanji, but yet Sanji did get his season 2 wig, so that's fine. I'm happy with that. I much prefer the season 2 wig. So
I see many people going like, I'm sorry, Taz Skylab, you're cool, but like I see people go like, I'm just going to use this. I'm just going to like pop the Wano head on this body to be time skip Sanji or something like that. I've been seeing.
Yeah, it actually would work. That would work much better because that Wano Sanji's body. Was it Wano Sanji or is it the Whole Cake Island? Anyways, whatever it is, the body is like a huge improvement.
No, because Figuarts is they only done Wano for the time skip stuff, right?
Right. So no, it'd be Fishman Island, Sanji.
Yeah,
with the Wano
I see a lot of people. Yeah,
Wano head
on
this body would be Fishman Island. Yeah.
Yeah, I see a lot of people go like, that's what I've been seeing people say about when they saw this live action Sanji's like Sanji and stuff like that because he did get like buffer slightly in the time skip, right?
He did. The only thing is he's wearing a blue shirt instead of a yellow, but that's minor.
That's like that's easy to customize, honestly. By the looks of it.
All right, and then for if you get all the figures, here's all the face options for Chopper, which is bonkers. I love it.
I know, like Luffy's the main character, but I do think they should do Chopper DLC faceplates. So
I think we've gotten enough Luffy faces at this point that going forward, everybody's just come with Chopper faces.
I mean, it's getting to the point where some of them look too similar from what I've seen.
Yeah, I have at least 3 Luffy faceplates that I can't tell the difference between, which is why I never separate my figure. I separate my figure parts into little bags. Like I have a bag of Luffy faces, but I don't do it until I film the shorts because some of them will just start to blend to each other.
You're gonna get a lot. I mean, with this next One Piece figures, we're gonna get more. At least Yeah, they should trade off since we are gonna get more Luffy faceplates with these upcoming figures. Maybe they should switch out them with Chopper faceplates moving forward.
Exactly. All right, so guys, ready for the most baffling news? SH Figuarts NBA Monkey D. Luffy New York Knicks version was officially announced to be releasing in October as a retail product. As you can see, it is Luffy playing basketball for the Knicks. I don't know the significance between his number being 5656, but it does come with more Luffy faceplates. He's got basketball stuff. He's got hat options. He comes with a stand. We heard these were coming at some point, and it's kind of cool to see they're real. There's also going to be an LA Lakers one, which I guess if I was going to pick one, I'd pick LA Lakers just because that's the out of all the teams, all the NBA teams that exist. I don't have any I've already talked about basketball, not my thing. But if I was going to get one, I would get the LA Lakers just because out of all these cities that they've put up so far, because there's 4 others they announced, I've spent the most time in LA out of all 6 of these. So I think one of them's Boston and one's Chicago. And
do you remember the old Space Jam toys?
Yeah.
With Jordan and his arm stretched from the end of the movie where he makes the final dunk?
Yes.
I wonder if that's right.
You could do that because the Luffy Gum arms will fit on this.
Yeah, exactly.
You say that, and all I can think is all the horrifying, Michael B. Jordan's.
Yeah, put it in stream chat. Yeah, remember
Yeah.
that? Let's recreate that, Luffy.
No, all I can think, no. I see this. And all I can think is the horrifying LeBron James toys released for Space Jam: New Legacy of stretch apart LeBron James figures and stuff like that. People make fun of.
Exactly.
That's all I can think of.
Look at that. The reason why there's a lot of Lakers Luffy art, by the way, is because they had a Lakers game sponsored by One Piece, and so they had a special animation. That's why I want the LA Lakers as well. There's actual canon animation of Luffy in the Lakers. Yeah, quote unquote canon. Basketball canon. I'm sure. I don't know sports. Yes,
that's what I'm saying. Is you want Space Jam, but I said the Looney Tunes is the One Piece Straw Hats.
Exactly. Now there also will be selling a hoop with a little court in front of it, so you can have a hoop and a court.
I mean, if there's anything I would have bought for this, it would have been this. So I can recreate all the funny Spider-Man and Venom basketball memes.
Exactly. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room.
Or Optimus shooting hoops.
Optimus shooting hoops is good too. Let's talk about the elephant in the room and not Zoe Island. Why are these Japan and Asia only for the American basketball team collab?
Wheels, can you explain why basketball thing is only exclusive to Japan?
What's basketball?
Because you're you know sports, right? Wheels, right?
Basketball thing.
The Monkey D. Luffy's in different NBA team uniforms are currently listed as being only released in Japan and Asia.
And yeah, you're a sports expert, right? Wheels, you know about them them sports, right?
Well, if we were off air, I'd make a really off-color joke about how if you want basketball, go to someone else that's darker than me in the site,
But still, here's the question.
I'm the guy who's not a basketball guy.
Anyways, the question is, Wheels, why do you think the NBA team collaboration figures are not going to be sold in the country where the teams exist?
Because no one actually likes basketball in North America.
Solid answer. I have another answer. I think these are going to be sold because this is a retail product. I have a weird feeling you're only going to be able to buy LA Lakers Luffy from the LA Lakers and only be able to buy New York Knicks Luffy from the New York Knicks. I have a weird feeling these are going to be exclusive to the stores for these teams.
What's crazy too is the biggest basketball fan in our group is actually a Filipino.
This is true. Basketball is a global thing, and the NBA does have global history, but I do wonder why you can't get the Los Angeles Lakers Luffy in Los Angeles, or can you only get it in Los Angeles?
I have a funny. You know what's funny?
Yeah.
My very first job, since I live right here where basketball was invented, was literally right across the Basketball Hall of Fame.
That's freaking cool.
That was my very first job out of high school.
Yeah, I love that. So yeah, anyways, no idea why these are only in Japan and Asia, but we will see. I have a weird feeling though that's going to be something to do with the team.
If anything, speaking of the Hall of Fame, if you come here physically, they should be there. That'd be cool. Like,
That'd be a great
why
thing
not?
to have there. Like have a little like display end cap.
Yeah.
You know also crazy is the Basketball Hall of Fame allegedly sucks, from what Jerry says. Like Jerry's like, yeah, it's a pretty crappy place. I don't know why it's this crappy.
Is it underfunded?
Supposedly because they have an indoor
basically,
basketball
yeah.
court.
It's not much. There's not much for you to do.
No,
They
it's
do
one
have
of
they
those.
do have activities, but
It's not
it's
like
like
the baseball one where you at least have a lot of like actual busts and statues and video histories and like relics that actually show you like here's the lockers from like the Yankees, or here's actual bats from actual baseball players that you get to like sort of touch. You can't lift them up because they're mounted down, but you can touch them.
Well, that's kind of lame. I feel like you have more exhibits to be a museum.
Yeah,
Right,
no. Like the
should.
basketball one has like less, like has like piss poor exhibits. It's like, oh, Springfield, Mass, get out of here.
Well,
That's what I say to most people who come here.
that makes sense. You guys ready for the crazy entertainment news? It's not Paramount's merger. We're doing that after.
I don't even want to talk about this.
Well, that's what we're gonna be talking about for like the next hour after I do these 5 little news stories. 5 little news stories of peace and quiet before the chaos begins again. All right, let's get to it.
Let's just talk about religion for breakfast and how I hate that guy.
Okay.
Breakfast.
Are we eating religions for breakfast now? Is that
That's the name of the channel.
Man, breakfast is ruined.
all right? So, entertainment news. Speaking of One Piece and live action, the first 2 episodes of One Piece Season 2 will be released in 200 theaters across the US, Canada, and Japan on March 10th, which is the premiere date of it on Netflix. So if you want to go see the first 2 episodes, it'll be airing at 6 p.m. local time if your theater will have it. One theater is having it here, but it overlaps with an appointment I have, so
Oh damn it!
I'm gonna
You
miss
can't
it.
bring
But
that-
I'm
can't
just
bring
gonna like come home and just click the button play on my Netflix account and call it a day.
You can't bring Beppo and Chopper with you.
I can't. I'll bring Beppo and Chapo to Chapo. I just gave them a ship name.
No, fusion meme. That's your fusion.
That's the fusion name. Anyways, Beppo and Chopper will still watch the show with me, but here at home. But yeah, that's pretty cool. It also does show a big confidence in Netflix, not only kind of going, maybe theaters are cool, and also Netflix going, yeah, One Piece is our next big show after Stranger Things. So
I mean, I think it's gonna show the WB thing, and
let's show Warner Brothers was serious about theatrical. Oh. Anyways, Sonic 4 is officially in production, and they built Amy's prop hammer as a physical prop.
Man, what a weird redesign for Amy at the post-credit scene.
Yeah, I thought we cast Kristen Bell as the voice, but I didn't know Jeff Fowler was doing the physical work.
I think is this the first time hearing the day, or was it always March?
It was always March
2027?
27. Yeah.
Okay.
It was always They went because the only reason they went for Sonic 3 ended up being a Christmas release was because the strike delayed it. So they're going back to the spring release. I think it's great. A spring family movie does very well. Like it hits a good niche. It doesn't have to compete too hard, right? It gets its own space. All
I
right.
don't think there's any
Doesn't have to
big films
compete
coming at the same time, right?
Nope.
And most people forget it exists.
I don't know. Not for Sonic. Not for the 4th
No,
movie.
Sonic. Even was
no,
show
I'm
for
just
Sonic.
I'm just saying, there's like a lot of kids movies that like came out in spring that I'm like, oh, this exists. Like there are so many movies where they just, like, went past me. And I'm
they
like,
either
I don't
make a
remember this
splash
happening.
or they don't. But it you can kind
Is
of.
it I forget. Is it Mario Galaxy Spring?
Yeah, but it's in April. It's like a little bit later. Anyways, Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls has addressed the fact that they listened to everybody's surveys from the beta and are implementing improvements to the game, and they did put out a video, which I saw, and I'm getting a lot more excited about this. My decision on whether or not I'm buying this day one is coming up to, hey, PlayStation, are you making a Wolverine-themed controller? Because I think I need money for that more than this, so let me know.
How do you feel the next drop in the release date with Wolverine out of nowhere?
There was like a whole story of like Sony killing a studio, and then suddenly we got the Wolverine release date, and I was like, distraction news. But yes, I'm glad to hear that Wolverine's coming out September 15th. I'll take it. It also means my Tokon plans have changed because I'm a lot more excited about the Wolverine game than I am Tokon.
But both have Wolverine in it.
Both
And what
have
has
Wolverine.
Storm?
Yeah,
And what has Storm?
one has Storm.
What has Storm?
But one game I played and I did not enjoy. One game I haven't played and could pretend it's going to be good. You know.
But yeah, but what has Storm?
I'm going to end up buying both. It just depends on when am I buying it, right? It's not an if, it's a when.
It's just which one. Yeah. One's gonna be bought first.
I will say that, like, if Tokon can get its thing together and get us an actual beta before, I will just buy it day one.
I think they are confirming it.
They're doing in-person events, which is nice, but I don't have those, so.
Right, I mean, usually those get the open betas, because I think the previous betas were.
Hey, you can't just go to Evo Vegas.
Not after they got bought out by Saudi Arabia.
We're gonna talk about them again soon.
They announced Omega Kids in Wolverine game. Sounds like okay, Tokon.
Yep. Blade Raider says it's an order of operations thing. Exactly. It's like why I'm buying James Bond day one, but I'm going to wait on Lego Batman because I know that Lego games launch with glitches and they need a few patches, so I can get Lego Batman later and it'll be better.
like Blade Raider implied you're like secretly a continuity like robot with mini.
Yeah.
You decide operation.
Exactly. Basically I want to see more from Tokon, obviously. I also want to play it again. I want to play Tokon again with these changes implemented and see if it feels better, because I did not like how the game felt like rock, paper, scissors. Because every match I played, it was like, if you popped off a combo, you just beat somebody's ass. And if someone popped off a combo on you, they'd beat your ass. And there was just so much ass beating that there wasn't much fun. It just became who can hit first, and that wasn't fun.
I don't know. This is a Marvel game. There's not a DC game. There's no Nightwing in sight.
That's when the dick gets beat in. Anyways, yeah, there is a new Lego Batman game, and they always go on sale quickly. But like, I feel like Bond's gonna stay up in price for a bit, and also I'm getting the collector's edition because I'm an idiot. But
wait, who's beating Dick?
Anybody in Injustice 1, because he was actually infamously terrible. Everybody could beat that dick off.
Oh really? He was low tier.
He was real low tier. He had 2 stances, but the second stance was so terrible, no one used it. Alright. I got tagged so many times when this news dropped randomly out of nowhere. Limited Run Games announces a collection of classic Marvel arcade games.
When that dropped, you and me both.
Yep.
Try. And I'm like, hey, Soundout, you're like, no, me too. I'll be getting tagged.
Die, chicken.
So this contains X-Men the arcade game, Captain America and the Avengers for arcade, Sega Genesis, and NES, Spider-Man Venom Maximum Carnage, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, Spider-Man Venom Separation Anxiety for Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis, Spider-Man X-Men Arcade's Revenge for Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, Game Boy, and Game Gear, plus Silver Surfer on the NES. I'm sure James Rolfe is screaming as soon as he saw Silver Surfer.
I can't include the goddamn Silver Surfer game. I am happy because it's a bad game, and more bad games need to be ported to modern consoles like that.
Also, it's my boy Silver Surfer.
My favorite thing about that game was just
the soundtrack. You know what I'm saying? It's Tim Fallon. Have you ever listened to his music?
Yes, I have heard of Pictionary. Yeah. He's like, hey, it's only Pictionary. Don't need to go that hard. Him, piano on fire.
Yeah. What were you gonna say, Wheels?
Have you seen Big Bad Toy Store's new notice of like, hey, your pre-order is coming in like the next 10 days, or we just found out it's shipping from our warehouse, the warehouse to America.
Yeah,
they've been doing that for like a couple months now.
Sailing, no unexpected day. Okay, like, not all of my emails have or Kraken attacks, and I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, they're like, it's on the boat, it's coming to you soon, unless a Kraken attacks. And I'm like, they're just prepped for everything at this point. Big Bad Toy Store recently got like a whimsy update. Like the search bar gives you a different phrase every time you load the page. It's really fun. I really love their whimsy.
I'm on their site, and the one I got is searching for the Dragon Balls.
Yeah, so it's great.
Because guys, the reason why they said the item too, where because like I just checked all my other emails, I didn't have that line in like the last three or four, but it was for the unofficial best idea of an actual Godzilla collab with Transformers, where it's just Hey, we took Wheelie and turned him into Jet Jaguar.
That's
Yep.
perfect.
I love it. Anyways, this collection's awesome. I'm hyped.
First $20 me and Soundout are spending.
Yes.
When this comes out, we need to do we need to play together. So
we're
we need to
gonna
fight.
stream Welcome to Die because they gave us 6-player multiplayer with rollback.
Welcome to Die.
DOA
Chickens.
6 ain't giving us rollback, but this is. I'm happy. Let's go. I'm very excited. I will buy this whole collection just for the Konami X-Men game. Like the rest is bonus.
People can realize how goddamn hard Maximum Carnage is because that game's super
Oh my
hard.
god! There's a story with one of our fellow friends, Starshot, where he hates he beat that game, streamed it, and was like, "I'm never touching this again." It's good, but jeez.
Also,
If you don't get all the extra lives, you're screwed.
we need a second collection that has Adamantium Rage.
Dude, yes!
Adamantium Rage!
The game that invented grime, yeah.
Yes.
We also need the Punisher arcade game for the.
Well, I have the Punisher arcade game.
That it was a rail. It was like
Is there
it was
another
a rail
one?
shooter.
Is there another Punisher arcade game?
There was a rail shoot. There was one for a rail. That was a rail.
I didn't know that.
I forget it was I forget it was the arcade. No, it has to be arcade because it was pretty much like one of those like light gun games where you play.
I didn't know that.
I know what you're talking about.
Screen.
Yeah,
I want that.
I forgot about that game.
This is exciting, and
there was also a Spider-Man arcade game that like the roster was it was a 4-player roster. It was like Spider-Man, Black Cat, okay, Hawkeye, and Namor, all people.
The Punisher rail shooter is an NES game, according to Ace.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just know there was a rail shooter Punisher game also. Yeah.
Can I bitch about one thing?
Before you bitch, you need to see this wholesome image. You need to put on stream.
Okay. All right. Then I shall bitch. Oh,
Look
this
at
is
them.
okay. This is the most beautiful thing. This is like we're basically just like hope maxing and coping with life right now before we get to the worst news of the stream. And look at this. That just brings me joy. Okay, like Luffy and Elmo together, and Yaki and whatever Elmo's legal name is. I I love this. It's beautiful. So the best thing about Netflix having Sesame Street is not only because they made it insanely accessible by putting it on YouTube as well, but the fact that they do stuff like this. It just brings me joy. I love this.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a video earlier where it was like it was Taz, Skylar, and Elmo, and Taz was like, I didn't have many friends as a kid. Elmo, you're my only friend. And everybody was like, this is just Sanji canon. All right. My one thing I have a problem with this game is collection. Marvel, trademark some more words, please. We already have something called Maximum.
I know. When I got the Discord notification of someone posted the link, I was like, Maximum? Like, what? Was there like a YouTube? Like, did someone get door early?
I swear that Marvel's just out to destroy
search terms.
They're like, we're gonna make SEO worthless. Because like everything has the same damn name or one of 5 adjectives, and I'm like, just get another name.
I forget. Isn't the Marvel behind the scenes stuff on Disney Plus called Marvel Legends?
Yes, Marvel Legends are the recaps of MCU characters. Like, what? And also like what was it? The behind the scenes stuff was like Marvel Studios Assembled. Nothing to do with Avengers Assemble, a different TV show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Exactly. Like, anyways, that was my only complaint with this.
I mean, who uses trademarks more, Marvel or Hasbro with Transformers?
Honestly, they could get into a one-on-one cage match and both lose.
I love Amazing Spider-Man.
Which one?
Yeah, exactly.
I love Amazing Spider-Man 2014. Yeah, which one? The movie or the game? The comic. I forgot they relaunched Amazing Spider-Man, I think, that year too.
I love Uncanny X-Men. Which one?
Exactly. All right. Continuing our bizarre news of the week. So, Kamen Rider Ainz, the brand new Kamen Rider played by Hiroshi Fujioka's daughter, debuted in the recent Girls Remix special. And she is now going to be used as the spokesperson for a makeup company's Kamen Rider lipstick collab. And as part of that lipstick collab, they put out a 10-minute short film featuring the character.
Is it canon?
As far as I'm concerned, this is as canon as the Gacked Rider Man music video. because
I love-
it doesn't
I love it.
contradict, so it might as well be.
I love that gag music video
Yeah,
of
this-
the next decade.
And this is on the same production quality or even higher. I actually feel like the budget was higher for this than it was for the Girls Remix special.
That sponsor money.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really good, and I was like, first of all, really glad she's already in something. There's a 30-second. Oh, Blade Raider said it, I thought it was just 30-second ad. It was a 30-second ad on social media, but if you go on their YouTube page, they have an entire 10-minute short, and it's not region locked. It's not subbed either, but it's not region locked.
That's the most important thing.
That's the most important part. You actually just watch it, and you can watch it raw. It's not that dialogue heavy. But yeah, let's see. It's right here. If you click over to the YouTube tab. Hey, my browser froze.
the YouTube curse.
The YouTube curse. I just want to prove I'm not lying.
Be careful, Toei could easily just struck us down from the
It's
skies.
not. Toei doesn't own it. The makeup company does.
Really?
Yeah.
The makeup company.
It's on the makeup company's channel. But there it is. See, Henshin the First on the Beauty Brands channel. 10 minutes 49 seconds. So
I was just watching that earlier,
Yeah.
this morning.
it's
I was like,
great. It's really damn good.
It really
so,
is.
High recommendation.
Oh, wow.
Go check that out. It's like a
For that
bonus
commercial.
episode. So, yeah, that's pretty much that. It's just a funny news story. All right. Was that all the fun? That was all the fun news, guys.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, here we go. All right, I gotta prep
Okay.
some links.
QCJ from GTA San Andreas.
Ryan, remind the chat
shit.
what we're doing, because
All right, all right, so this is also kind of PSA. So what we're doing right now is discussing the facts about this whole Paramount, WB, and Netflix deal. If you have any questions, wait to the Q&A part of the stream once we're done giving them the facts to talk about this whole thing. So save any questions about this whole thing until we get to the Q&A section. We're here to give the facts, most important right now, because it's really confusing right now, and Sam has done his best to get all the straight facts
Yep.
about this whole thing.
I've also put everything in timeline order. So it's going to be the whole timeline of how the information came out. So that way...
Oh yeah, the chat
Yeah.
PSA, please don't get to political arguments. We're here with
Yeah,
as
let's
best as
not
we
get
can.
into arguments about it. I will say the nature of the story
It's political.
is
It is
political because politics got involved in the situation. So because of that, we will be mentioning political stuff that we don't normally do. But
let's all be civil here.
yeah, they inserted themselves into the situation, so it's all fair reign. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go through the whole recap process of what all happened in the last week. So first things first, before last week, we had thanks for Unga for mentioning it. All right, so what happened first was that basically to recap, let's bring us back. I don't want to do the Wayne's World do things. That seems distasteful. But anyways, so bring us back to the start. Warner Brothers won the bid Netflix won the bid to purchase Warner Brothers. Paramount and their CEO decided to kind of complain to everybody that they should have won it instead, and kept raising such a, for lack of a better term, shit fit about it, that Netflix said, fine, if you really have a better deal to purchase Warner Brothers, we'll give you 7 days to prove it to them. And so, in the 7-day window, Paramount was renegotiating their bid to purchase Warner Brothers. And basically the people I had to convince was the Warner Brothers shareholders. And the Warner Brothers shareholders had rejected Paramount 9 times, saying, you don't actually have this money you're promising us. There is no way this is a real bid. We're going with Netflix because Netflix is a more secure. This is how we get our money.
Also, also just a reminder, people. Was it Warren Ellison is the leader of Paramount, right?
David Ellison is the head of Paramount.
Yeah, David Ellison. Warren Ellison is his father.
Larry Ellison is his father.
Well, just the Ellisons in general are friends with the president, Mr. Duck, on
Yes.
top. So
there was a lot of David Ellison saying I should be the one to get Warner Brothers because he essentially had a quiet agreement with the current president as well as his administration that if they got it, they would get approved by the government, right? So that was kind of like, it kind of like, you know how like in like, I don't know, Richie Rich. Like, Richie Rich would get mad anytime he didn't get the thing he wanted. You know? Just, like, throw a tantrum until he got it. Kind of what happened here.
Pretty much. Anytime they try to, because they're doing, like, all sort of shenanigans
Like, even the
about,
most
like...
desperate person knows after you've been rejected 9 times to just give it up.
Mhm.
So, there was some stuff. First thing first. This happened during the negotiations, is that the news came out that Smiling Friends, which was an Adult Swim show owned by Warner Brothers, which had been renewed for a season 4 and 5, was going to end with season 3. They had like 2 more episodes they're going to put out. That was going to be it. And people were like, this is a joke, right? They're doing a bit. This can't be real. Because apparently in 2026, anytime a TV show ends, the fandom has to go into mass psychosis thinking it's just a play and a marketing tool. That's not quite how it works. So adding to this, the composer for Smiling Friends confirmed the series ending is not a joke. This is actually happening. All right, so after this, we got some further news. Because, look, honestly, it kind of sounded like the Smiling Friends people wanted out of the whole situation.
Yeah, it really did, like, feel like, especially when the whole Paramount stuff was starting to come to light, it really felt like the creators of My Friend knew. Like, because they knew what was going
straight
on.
up say, with how much they knew, didn't they straight up say they didn't want it to be Rick and Morty?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But also, like, it really did feel like, I think, of course, they probably couldn't say certain things. Also,
I think they were seeing a possibility of Paramount.
Got what they meant.
Yeah, I think they were like, they were burned out, but they wanted to end the show. But I think they also probably saw that Paramount was going to end up buying Warner Brothers and decided, we don't really want to be part of that company. We'll leave on our own terms.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that's when it came down that 3 days into their 7-day window, Warner Brothers had accepted Paramount's new offer, saying it was superior to the Netflix deal. And they gave Netflix 4 days to submit a new bid. About an hour or 2 later, Netflix declined to raise their offer to buy Warner Brothers.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, was it more? Yeah, literally like an hour later. It was like, wow, that fast.
Now, I am not going to say anything that did or did not happen, but what I want to add is I want to add this little bit of context because I find it to be very important to the overall story. Because on the day that Paramount submitted their new bid, Ted Sarandos, CEO of Netflix, was having meetings with the White House and the Department of Justice about, if we are purchasing successful this company, would you approve our merger? Because it's a merger of such a size, the government would have to approve it. So Ted Sarandos was having meetings with the White House and the Department of Justice. And so the thing is, apparently at those meetings, Netflix heard about the bid and thought Paramount's overpaying. And they didn't want to, match their bid. And so this reporter had this scoop. Shortly after, Netflix declined to raise the bid. Also, adding to this, reporter Chris Hayes put out saying, the announcement coming after a meeting with regulators in the White House who could approve or deny the deal seems pretty relevant. From what I heard, and from what has been reported, it sounds like Ted Sarandos was hoping to have a meeting with the president to talk about him purchasing Warner Brothers, but apparently spent all day not getting a conversation with the current president. That would then say, in some ways, is Netflix bowing out because Paramount is now spending a ridiculous amount of money and they're not going to try to match it or overtake it because it's not worth it to them? And is it also to say that maybe they got told in either direct or indirect terms, you're not going to get it approved even if you buy it? So Netflix decided, we're going to step away. Adding to this, there was also a whole fight between Netflix and the current president because he didn't like what one of their shareholders and board members said and kept telling Ted Sarandos that person needs to be fired if you ever want this deal to go through.
Wow.
Yeah, that's where we're at right now. So, going forward, where does this take us? Basically, Netflix is out and they ain't coming back to the table. Netflix was actually losing things in stock value because their shareholders are saying, you're kind of a straightforward business model. You're getting really messy being a part of this? Do you really need Warner Brothers for your company to grow? And the answer really is no. Netflix makes how much money a month off of just subscriptions?
They're still the best performing streaming service out of all the competition.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's the thing, is they don't really need Warner Brothers. Paramount is not a very valuable company, so David Ellison kind of needs Warner Brothers. So this is where we're at this point.
Yeah, with Netflix, they just really just want the content. That's it. I think that's why they were thinking about buying WB, and that's it.
Yeah. And so here we got, at this point, what we need to talk about, which is, this is not a done deal. Paramount may have the highest bid and the biggest potential at purchasing Warner Brothers, but it is not a done deal because there is a lot of legal things. Just getting U.S. government approval isn't enough. Both Warner Brothers and Paramount are based in California. The California Attorney General wants to make sure that this is not going to just go through without checks and balances. Adding to this, there's also things in Europe, global companies. There's a lot of involvement at multiple levels. There's the guilds, there's the other unions. There's a lot of things that could be put in the way of this deal actually happening, so it's not completely done yet. Now,
that's the thing. I think people forget. While these are U.S. companies, it's a lot. Company like WB is a global company, or it's like WB of Japan and all that stuff. So you can't just buy it straight up because of the American branch. There's so many.
Part of why Crunchyroll, Funimation, and Right Stuff could all be merged into one company by Sony was because they were all small companies within the United States. Nobody was going to pay attention. These are massive corporations with tons of IP and a massive concern that the consolidation of two major studios into one is going to reduce jobs even further in a landscape that's already reduced jobs is concerning. Another concerning thing as well is, you may have seen this list going around social media if you've been online and things, is that basically how a lot of this has been going, the way that a lot of things been going is that the Ellison family, with David Ellison being the head of Paramount, his father, Larry Ellison's pretty much the richest man in the world. It's like him and Elon are always in a competition as to who's richer, and it's always by a very minor amount. And so the ownership of Paramount is a part of a massive empire of ownership. To the point of adding Warner Brothers into that, the Ellison family will have control over a large amount of news media organizations. This includes, they own TikTok now, because they're the U.S. owner of TikTok. They already own CBS News as part of the Paramount deal. They will then own CNN. They will then also own other affiliates and TV networks. They would be getting a massive control over a big media landscape. And with the way that things have gone at CBS, if anyone's been paying attention to the way 60 Minutes has gone, there's been massive censorships about certain stories. Anything that doesn't fit the narrative of what the federal government wants to put out there, 60 Minutes has been not allowed to report on. Stories have been cut last minute when they should be aired legally. Now, this also comes back to a law that was repealed decades ago. There used to be a law in place that news had to report stories from both sides as part of the overall news narrative. That was repealed, and because of that, we have news networks that tell only one side of a story or just flat out lies, and there's no consequences for it. The type of news media that, the Ellisons like to portray out there is incredibly one-sided, one-directional news media, and we've seen that with CBS News and how it's been essentially completely destroyed, and a lot of its anchors have been leaving and people have been quitting. And essentially you could say the same thing would be done to CNN in relation to them owning it. So that is a big concern also outside of the entertainment space, but in the news media space that could cause some holdup. So there is a lot to still be done about this. It's just because they've cleared this first step doesn't mean they're done and they haven't yet. So we'll see what happens. For example, the Disney Fox purchase, which had some resistance, but not as much resistance as this did, still took 2 years to get done. And that didn't even have any other bidders. So this is not a done deal. That's the important part here. Let's talk about this next part. Who's getting paid? Because this is another reason why Netflix walked out of the deal. Because Netflix had already won the bid Warner Brothers already said, we're going to give you, we're going to give you this company for this price. Paramount comes in and says, we're going to give you this much money for this company. And Warner Brothers says, okay, well, we got to cancel our deal with Netflix. You now owe Netflix $2.8 billion as a fee for wasting their time. So Netflix gets to walk away out of this with $2.8 billion. And their
Really
stock
got free
price
money.
went up.
They pretty much got free money, practically.
They basically got free money. And they didn't lose anything. Because, that's the way they wanted to do it. So, adding to this, the thing that we got to add to as well is that basically Paramount is acquiring all of Warner Brothers for $31 a share in cash. The previous offer was for $30 a share in cash, which was an equity of $78 billion, an enterprising value of $108 billion. With the new balance, it's coming up to essentially $112 billion to purchase Warner Brothers, all of its assets and everything involved.
That's stupid money.
That's a stupid amount of money. I gotta tell you, Warner Brothers ain't worth that. When Netflix basically was saying under, in quiet circles, Netflix was like, this isn't worth it. That's why it's not worth it.
Like back then, maybe, but after all the crazy stuff, like the reputation and all the failures WB isn't causing, it really damaged the company. So, like, where the value of the company is not even there anymore.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm gonna go grab dinner.
Sounds good.
But I at least have one bad joke. I have at least one bad good joke.
All right, go for it.
You want to hear it before I go?
Yeah.
Well, that was Paramount having WB. That means Fleischer Superman's getting revived.
Look,
but only specifically the racist cartoons, right?
Probably. But hey, Fleischer Superman's back.
You guys ready for Japateurs 2?
Yeah.
Come on, let's go,
bro. Maybe it was right.
Oh God, I gotta tell you, the memes are the only thing that's making me sane in all this. All right, let's talk about debt.
You're welcome. You're welcome, everybody. You're welcome.
Hey, we need
Fleischer Superman's back,
That
baby.
was Wheels, everybody. Thanks so much. All
Honestly,
right.
who does point to say look a bird? Like, who does that?
Yes. All right. With that good tension breaker. So let's talk about debt, right? Because these companies are in a lot of debt. So at the end of 2025, Warner Bros. Discovery had $33.5 billion. They had like $78 billion when Haslab took over the company. So they've actually gotten that down a whole lot. But what have we lost in the process? A ton of TV shows and movies sent to the tax write-off farm. A bunch of people fired. A bunch of divisions merged. Warner Brothers Games basically being a non-existent entity.
And now you go to Paramount, what they canceled in order to get all the money.
So Paramount, the Paramount deal would add another $57.7 billion in debt on the combined company. That's over $90 billion in debt. And I've heard that's not an accurate figure. I've heard it's over $100 billion in debt. I can't confirm that, but allegedly it's over $100 billion in debt that this would be in a combined version. Paramount's team has spoken to $6 billion in cost savings. That means layoffs, because yes. And rival Netflix always insisted that much steeper cuts would be necessary and it touted a workforce preservation as one of the main benefits of its deal. Once again, reminding you that while Netflix was not the ideal thing, because the ideal thing would be Warner Brothers being independent, it was certainly better than Paramount. All right, so here's the thing we got to work with here. So Paramount's wild card is the immense wealth of the Ellison family, led by patriarch Larry Ellison. The Oracle co-founder sits at number 6 on the Forbes Real-Time Billionaires list with an estimated net worth, according to the publication, of $194 billion. What do you mean that they're going to have a company with the debt of half the money of Daddy Ellison? How is that really going to work out?
Just because you're rich doesn't mean you're always going to stay rich if you do stuff like that.
Exactly. A lot of the reason this whole thing happened is because David Ellison really wants to be a big studio movie mogul. How much is Larry Ellison willing to pay for that for his son? Right?
Dad, I want to own a movie studio. Okay, son. Dad, I want to own this. Also own this other movie studio. Oh, let me see if we have to check for it.
Dad, I need $111 billion to buy a company that'll have $100 billion in debt. What? Because, reportedly, the all-cash bid may not be able to happen because Forbes ran this article that was estimating the elder Ellison, Larry Ellison, who is Oracle's largest shareholder, doesn't have enough cash on hand to fulfill his part of Paramount's $111 billion offer for Warner Brothers Discovery. See, the thing is,
Dealing with the B.
ever since they started this whole bid, I don't call it a hostile takeover bid, I call it a whining takeover bid. But anyways, the thing is, how are we going to pull this up? So, let's do some math together.
You know that kid, like the kid on the ground is going, "Wow, I want it now."
Tantrum, yeah.
Basically.
It really is just WB.
That's a Paramount, yeah.
Paramount.
So, all right, here we go. So let's go through the numbers here, all right? Last August, Yellowstone took control of Paramount, an $8 billion merger with Skydance, the entertainment company run by David and owned mostly by Larry. Because David is the Nepo baby of all Nepo babies.
Was there any like successful things under the Skydance merger? Any? I can't
Almost
think of
everything's been canceled, including hiring canceled people, but more on that in a bit.
Oh boy.
Weeks later, Paramount Skydance lobbied a hostile $111 billion bid for Warner's Discovery, which they had already agreed to sell itself to Netflix. Netflix decided to counter. Warner's board deemed Paramount's offer superior. The Ellison-controlled entity is now in a pole position to buy a company with roughly $70 billion in market cap for a triple-digit billion price. They are overpaying. It's $7 billion in market cap, and they're paying $111 billion because they just want it that badly. Guys, that's $41 billion over the price.
That's not pocket change.
That's not even close to pocket change. Here's a problem. Paramount has about $3 billion in cash on its balance sheet. So, to bridge the gap, 3 banks are committing $57.5 billion in debt. Most of the rest, a $45.7 billion equity, is coming from Larry Ellison's trust. And that's where the math starts to get tight. Ellison has only sold $4.7 billion of Oracle stock pre-tax this century. By Forbes' estimate, he has less than $10 billion of cash in the bank, mostly from Oracle dividends. This is a reminder like when Elon Musk spent that ridiculous amount of money to buy Twitter, he leveraged his Tesla stock, which then also meant he still inherited all the debt because he was leveraging stock.
I think he's trying so desperately to people to buy premium.
Exactly. Also, this is why we say that just, when you hear about these people with rich amounts of money, it's not like they can just write a check for $111 billion because a lot of their money and their value is in stock assets, not actual cash, right? So,
thing about movies is you need to actually show up to make those stuff. You can't just go, "Oh yeah, we'll make that movie." Like movies is and like you think I doubt like it decided to do let's make every movie AI to get our money back. I'm pretty sure that's not gonna make the money back if they do that scenario either.
Because as we've seen, people are not really wanting to spend money on AI. They like it when it's a free little side thing. So, moving on. He owns an estimated $15 billion in Tesla shares, amassed his 10 years as a Tesla director, because all these rich people are connected. Even if he liquidated all that, it wouldn't fully cover his commitment, which leaves the longest, most valuable lever, Oracle stock. Ellison owns $1.6 billion in Oracle shares, currently worth $164 billion. Selling off a meaningful chunk would also certainly spook Oracle shareholders, already queasy over Oracle's heavy debt load and skyrocketing spending on AI data centers. Big insider sales tend to land like jump scares. According to September regulatory filing, Ellison had $346 million pledged Oracle shares to, quote, fund outside personal business ventures. They are worth more than $100 billion then and about $50 billion now. Even at the lower end, that's enough to cover Ellison's commitment without him selling a single Oracle share and triggering a sell-off. Because he basically could be no longer in charge of the company if he sells too many of his shares. So, keep that in mind. No need to sell the crown jewels to get mortgage them instead. For an 81-year-old tech founder who once seemingly was drifting towards retirement on Lanai, the pivot to media mogul seems abrupt, but Ellison's well-earned reputation as mercurial and rarely played the expected move. So then it kind of goes into that. A better alternative, flip the board. Should the deal be approved, the combined company would consolidate legacy rivals across news, film streaming, kids programming, CBS and CNN, HBO Max and Paramount Plus, Warner Brothers and Paramount Pictures, and Nickelodeon Cartoon Network, all under the same parent company. Typically, they would... Yes.
They keep canceling their shows. They can't rely on that.
I know, right? Typically, that would lead to heavy antitrust scrutiny from the Department of Justice and Federal Communications Commitment, but the Ellisons' chummy relationship with the current administration could be a ward against regulators' attempts to shut down the merger. And media would just be one pillar of an already sprawling empire. Larry Ellison owns more than 40% of Oracle, which in turn owns 15% of TikTok's U.S. entity via a government brokered deal. Ellison also has $3 billion in a real estate profile, including $500 million in Florida property and an entire Hawaii island, as well as an estimated $2 billion stake in Elon Musk's merged SpaceX XAI entity. So here's Larry Ellison's assets for anyone wondering. The Warner deal would tower over it all. Oracle has acquired more than 150 companies, many via debt-heavy deals, but its largest to date, buying health tech firm Cerner for $28 billion in 2022, looks modest beside an $111 billion media roll-up. This deal would make Ellison much more powerful, but if financed by stock sales rather than pledges, could hurt his fortune before it helps. More details set to emerge in the coming days, but in general, large mergers, especially those that come in with a heavy debt burden, can rattle markets and drive acquiring companies' stock price down. Oracle's three most notable acquisitions, Cerner, NetSuite in 2016, and PeopleSoft in 2005, didn't help the tech giant's stock price in the short term, but paid off months or years later. Paramount's share price fell by halves in the months after the Ellisons took over, although it was up 20% of today as of the Warner Brothers bid. But even if Paramount buys a company more than 5 times its size, it will take a while to pay off all the debt it's taking on and allow its market value to catch up. So, what does all that say for those that want to boil down? He don't got the money. He is committed to spending $11 billion on Warner Brothers Discovery, but does not have that money in pocket. And therefore, purchasing this company is a massive gamble that could put his entire empire at stake. And this is the thing. Back when Paramount first tried to buy Warner Brothers, they were doing a kind of split the deal thing. They said, all right, well, Skydance will put in this much, Jared Kushner's going to put in this much, and the Saudis are going to put in this much. And ever since they came back for their new deal, they haven't mentioned, Jared Kushner had mentioned dropping out. The Saudis weren't mentioned in the big bid. But I also wonder, are the Saudis still involved? But are the Saudis still involved because of the current situation in the Middle East? Because that's going to be costing them a lot of money on top of all this. I don't know what's going to happen, but I got to tell you, it kind of seems like the Ellisons may not have as much in cash as they promised. And that could honestly torpedo any of this before the legal system does. That being said, we'll have to wait and see. And the news story is not done yet. That was just part one. Guys got any thoughts while I load the next tab?
It's just like a
Mind-boggling.
It is really.
I don't see any positive to want to go through with this.
It's just kind of funny to finally to see like these rich people going like, oh no, I'm literally gonna run out of money.
There's even a limit to my richness. Yeah, exactly.
Yep. I think there being there's a limit to richness, right? Like, yeah, I always say the old phrase of you can't take it with you. Your money ain't following you to the afterlife. But
you think if this deal falls through, you think the father's got to disown the son for wasting all his money?
He might. Because the thing is, too, on top of that, like, even if this goes through, they're going to be up on such an uphill battle. There's such an uphill battle to make this thing profitable. Like, I don't even know how this is even going to work, you know? And also, you know, when it talks about the news organizations, I think it'd be very bad for the Ellisons to own every news organization like it seems like they want to. But I will say that there has been a big rise of independent reporting in the last few years because all the news organizations are owned by corporations that have their own interests to keep. And I think the rise of independent reporting is probably going to continue if more of these companies own the news organizations, because more people are going to realize, yeah, I can't listen to what this station's saying. I need to go independent. And that's something I've noticed as well as like MS Now, which is still owned by NBC Universal. Like almost every one of their anchors now has their own YouTube channel that they're posting to. Like they're just kind of like ready in case, you know, they get told you can't report on that story and they can just go report it on their own channel. So
you think that's the if even they get through this deal, would they even have money to, or like, it's like, to make more money, we need to make more SpongeBob. Would they even have money to pay for animators or script writers and all that stuff? And like,
I have no idea.
Money?
I have no idea
Like,
what their plan is.
That's the thing, like, because like they're spending all this money. Would they have even enough to like do marketing for merchandising, licensing, like all that stuff?
Even if they went full AI, that's not free.
No, because AI data centers cost money, and guess what? Oracle's like the biggest. And this is the funny part. This is what happens when you own everything, right? It's like I always say. I said this. When James Gunn took over DC, right? If something goes wrong in the DCU, everybody blames James Gunn because he took so much central ownership of it, right? If it's something good happens, James Gunn gets credit. If something bad happens, everybody blames James Gunn, right? The thing is, if Paramount went full AI on their stuff, like insane people, right? And they still have to spend the money to produce AI data centers because Oracle is like the #1 producer of AI data centers. So it's still within the same empire, which means they're not passing the blame on anybody else, not passing the cost on anybody else. Owning everything means you also have to pay for everything to exist. It's an absolute downside, which we're noticing, right? You notice with funny crunchy stuff, like that has not resulted in anything being better. They're putting out less than those 3 companies ever did before because it's all under one company and there's only so much money to go around. So, Peacemaker had a good quote. Oh no, the physical boundaries of a finite universe are catching up to me. Billionaires. Like, literally. Like, this is where we're at, right? So.
Oh no. They're like, oh no, we're mortal beings.
Yeah. So, let's go into part 2. Part 2 is what I call the post-reactions to all this. How are people talking about this that are in these circles? Because I think this is quite interesting. Who's the good guys? Okay, LPH asks, who's the good guys? In this whole situation, us, the common people. Because rich billionaires suck. All right. Corporations are evil. Most billionaires are assholes. Let's get back to the news. So, part 2.
Yeah.
So, there was a company-wide meeting that David Zaslav held to talk about what was going to happen now that Paramount is buying Warner Brothers. On that call, he thinks it'll take 6 to 12 months for the deal to even close. Because even if without government regulation stuff, it still takes months for these deals to close because division of assets, providing the money, like everything we just talked about, right? You actually have to provide the money. Here's a quote that got pulled out from this article that I think just sums up exactly what's going to happen right now. He said to his people, this was in leaked audio from the company-wide meeting. He said, "The deal may not close. If it doesn't close, we get $7 billion and we get back to work." Basically, I don't think David Zaslav has a vested interest on whether or not this deal goes through. If the deal goes through, $111 billion gets transacted, and he gets his money, and he gets to go on his merry way. If it doesn't go through, he can keep making money with the company and still get a bunch of money because, guess what? If it doesn't go through, he still gets money from it.
Yep.
This man don't care if Paramount buys the company or not.
It's pretty much for him. It's a win-win scenario for him.
He told his people, you all are getting paid regardless if this goes through or not. Which maybe is part of why they took on such an insane bid. Because they're like, well, if this doesn't go through, we get money and we get to still keep making stuff.
What's the Hux line from Rise of Skywalker? I don't care if WB gets money as long as Paramount lose.
Yeah, exactly. Because there is a potential that Warner Brothers just stays independent because it gets so much resistance. Because something that I guess I forgot to mention when it comes to the lawsuits, even if the lawsuits don't do anything, guess what Paramount still has to do? Spend money to go to the lawsuits. And the thing is, and because what was this, Activision and Blizzard, they spent billions in lawsuits, right?
Would Paramount have to pay any damages for all this stuff?
Seemingly, they might have. I mean, they already had to pay $2.8 billion to Netflix in damages. So here's the thing. So I guess we should start adding that. Like they're not paying $111 billion for Warner Brothers. They're paying $114 billion because they had to pay a chunk to Netflix. So adding to this, the thing is, if they get taken to court, they have to pay to go to court. Now, if, say, for example, like a case in California says this deal's illegal, you can't go through with it, and then they're like, oh, we're going to appeal that because we don't agree with the result. Guess what happens every time you appeal a court case?
Pay up.
You have to pay up. You have to pay the court. You have to pay the court to run the trial again. You get one free go, and that's not a free go because you always got to pay lawyers, right? But you get one go, and then if you want to appeal that, you got to pay money every single time that you want to go at it.
There's one thing I learned thanks to all the crazy Pender Sega soonness I learned is the court doesn't like when they waste your time.
No, they do
waste your
not.
time.
I was a juror one time. I had jury duty and I was a juror one time, and the case got thrown out like 5 minutes into it because the judge was like, "This is the most waste of time. Sorry, we burned hours of your life. You're still getting paid though, but have a nice day." Because it was,
Yeah.
she threw the court case out because it was like it was a he said she said incident. There was no evidence provided by either lawyer. So she was like, "Why? How did this get here? Why are you wasting all of our time?" So also there's a I don't remember which court case it was, but there was a lawsuit. I think it was involving Elon Musk. Elon Musk was getting sued, and they had trouble finding jurors that would, go on record saying, "I don't hate Elon Musk." Like, they had trouble putting a jury together.
Golly.
And I gotta wonder, are they gonna run into a similar issue here? Like, if you're too unfavorable, you're not gonna have a jury, and then you can't do your lawsuit.
That's so funny, man. We need to find people that don't hate Elon Musk,
Yeah.
sir. The results came in. It's like
We
the
got
people that
6.
don't hate.
We need 12. Because the thing is, if anyone that's never done jury selection or jury duty, as part of jury selection, they start asking you questions, and they're like, "Okay, does anybody know this person?" And then if you raise your hand, they tell you to leave. All right, does anybody know this person? You raise your hand, they tell you to leave. If this person, would you be able to give a fair and partial judgment to this person? And then they'd ask a question like, they'd like point to you and be like, "Would you discriminate against this person because of their skin color?" And if you answer yes, they kick you out. And if you answer no, you get to stay. It's a very interesting process, right?
Hey, my favorite way to get out of it is just do what Peter Griffin did.
Peter,
Look
just say you're
around, and then you
prejudiced
say,
against.
Awful
No,
lot
that's
of
Peter.
honkies in here.
Yeah, no, it's the Homer one. The Homer one is to say you hate all races.
That's actually not a complete. Somebody tried that at the jury selection I was a part of. And it didn't work because they're like, "All right, be serious. Let's go through it one by one if you want. Or you can just tell us you're lying to get out of it." It was like the craziest thing. Anyways, jury duty stories.
Oh, hey, Soundout.
Peacemaker does bring up a good point, though. This would be a civil matter, so there shouldn't be a jury. That is absolutely true.
But I would do the best whenever. I'd just sit there and go, "I hate anyone with disabilities worse than my own."
Actually, well, that one actually might get you out of jury duty, yeah. Actually get you out of there.
Well, actually, being
Yeah.
at my level of disability as well, where I'm also required to have someone drive me places, it's like, oh yeah, I don't have to do jury duty because I can't.
That actually is what I remember.
Yeah.
The judge asking me that. He was like, "Can you drive places?" I was like, "No."
Or I need this love when you ask for jury duty and last minute. No, you're not have jury duty anymore. That happened to me.
That's happened to me. That's happened to me before too.
And my
All
second
of a sudden,
time,
like,
my
nobody
second
has to
time
do
with
it.
jury
Oh,
duty
cool.
was during COVID, and they're like, "We'll call you if we need you."
There was one time.
I
This
would
is a
love,
funny one.
I would love for the situation
Oh.
to be like, "We'll call you if we need you," and the joke would be too. It's like you actually do get there, then the joke is, "Oh, the plaintiff is like me,"
I love
and then you
telling
and me are
this
just looking at each other like, "Wait, what are you doing here?"
Yep.
I love this one. There's one time where the judge came in and said, "Oh, it's a simple DUI case, whatever. Just it will come back and pick the jury." And I told the judge, "No, you won't." I should have said, "No, you won't. This is gonna get thrown out." She's like, "No, we'll come back and pick." 20 minutes later, yeah, the case got thrown out. Like I told you.
Yeah.
I went home.
Also adding to this, Omander
No, you won't.
Omander did bring up a good point too. Lawyers are also allowed to do background checks as a part of jury selection. This is very true. They can find out. But anyways, what were we talking about? Kind of a jury tangent.
Ah, geez, I wrote myself into an actual competitive GBO match because I wasn't paying attention. God, now I got.
Congratulations. Speaking of competitive matches, so Paramount, after buying Warner Brothers, or not buying Warner Brothers, Paramount saying they're going to spend $113 billion to buy Warner Brothers, said, "All right, let's make an announcement to make sure we know that we're still making stuff," because they haven't really been announcing new things, right? They're like, "You know what? We're making a new G.I. Joe movie. And we hired Max Landis." All right, so for context, Max Landis is one of Hollywood's worst Nepo babies. Why? Because somehow he did a worse crime than his father. John Landis, on the set of the Twilight Zone movie, ended up disobeying safety laws, hiring Vietnamese children under the table in cash only, had no safety protections, and got Vic Morrow and 2 Vietnamese children killed by a helicopter crash. And somehow wasn't charged for that crime, and people will always remember it. And then his son, Max Landis, became a massive sex pest who was Me Too'd out of the industry because all the allegations, everybody said, yep, that's true.
Even Josh Trank hates his guts. And you know Josh Trank, he's not the greatest guy either.
Yeah. So, Max Landis is now the second person that should be in jail, but isn't, after Brett Ratner, who has now been hired by New Paramount. I have a nickname for them, but I feel like if I say it, it's gonna activate some bot accounts. I'm just not, but it's clever. Anyways,
can you say, hey Soundout, can you say it to me?
I can text it to you guys.
I was gonna say DM.
I'll just text it to you guys, and then you can laugh, and I can have validation.
I better get it, because like if I don't get it, I'm gonna be mad.
Yeah, no, that's good.
I just can't say it on stream because I the one time I said a name like that, I got so many bot accounts. It's not worth it.
I remember that.
I mean, you could call it something else. You could call it a Murica mount.
Yeah, let's go with that. We'll go with that for now. All right. So, anyways,
hey, did you hear about what happened to Saradia?
Ooh, I just realized I can type it into the chat, but just censor 2 of the letters, and then people will know what it is.
Yep.
Hey, Soundout, did you hear what happened to Saradia?
Done. What happened to Saradia?
We got the Godzilla cells back.
Oh, nice. Back to G.I. Joe. So,
Exactly.
G.I. Joe, the thing is, I got so caught up in the, oh, wow, they hired Max Landis, that I missed Danny McBride, who's a comedy writer, who's done horror movies, so that's fine. But the part I missed, because I got so distracted by the Max Landis of it all, they're writing 2 separate scripts, and then Paramount plans to blend the 2 scripts into one film. Boy, have I never read a sentence that, first of all, makes me want to die. Second of all, sounds like they're going to get these 2 people to write 2 separate scripts, and they're going to put them into ChatGPT like a blender, and then it's going to pop out a new script, and that's what they're going to make the movie off of.
I can't
Well, Max Landis' version will be something about how Baroness, like...
Yeah, well, and you get there. Yeah, no, what a stupid-ass way to make a movie.
I can't G.I. Joe kind of break, man. You know, I'm always here saying G.I. Joe is not American propaganda, and then you have stuff like this.
Yep.
That's great.
Also, I want to add that
escape the allegations, Ryan.
Max Landis, Brett Ratner are not only 2 of the worst people that ever worked in Hollywood, they are also 2 of the most untalented bitches to ever exist. Like,
if you look up anything, when I saw this news, I look up Max Landis. All I could find is like super duper unknown indie projects that like look like they have a budget of 2 cents or something like that.
Exactly, because nobody wants to work with that guy, and also because the work he did wasn't good enough. There are some people in this industry that have gotten away with shit because they're insanely talented, right? Like, Bryan Singer was a really good director for a long time, so even after allegations came out, he still got to go do 2 more X-Men movies and Bohemian Rhapsody because he was talented. There was people that were willing to look the other way. People like Brett Ratner and Max Landis aren't talented. They're awful at their jobs and awful at being people. Like,
is there any movie that Brett Ratner made that's actually like good? Like,
no,
actually was a good movie? Yeah.
not a single one. Also, Ramsey brings a good point. Yeah, John Lasseter is also still at Skydance. And also, apparently, John Lasseter was much more of a creep than we thought because this article came out that basically, I can't put it into words on this stream and not get demonetized. Basically, everybody was saying that at Pixar, he got a graceful exit and should have taken it because the stuff that happened at Skydance Animation with him, it makes it say, like, no one should actually work with Skydance Animation because it's uncomfortable.
Can we say Sex Pest? Is that safe to say?
Sex Pest, I feel like, undermines it a little bit. I feel like that's not severe enough.
Oh dear.
Man.
That bad?
It's that bad. Like,
Megalomaniac.
Like, you know, there's some people in your lives where you're like, that person's kind of messed up, and you know, you still be friends with them because overall they're fine. And then there's people like John Lasseter where it's like, what the hell?
Oh, so, like how we say Metal is John Lasseter levels when he's really just like a 2.
He's not nearly as bad, no.
Yeah, I said we say he is, but he's only a 2.
Exactly.
He really is a 2. we just forged
if
most of your crimes.
if Metal's a 2, Lassiter's like a 15. Just
People,
cut.
the chat's not gonna understand what we're referencing,
The
right?
chat has no idea, and I kind of like leaving it that way.
If
Moving
they
along.
understand deep lore. If they understand deep lore, they'll get it.
Yep. All right. Let's talk about. All right. So I said we were doing facts, right? We're doing facts. Paramount did in fact say these things, but I am going to tell you.
I say it's time for what Paramount's. It's time for Soundout's translation of what Paramount's saying.
Paramount has revealed new details about their merger with Warner Brothers. So, all right.
He's on the ace.
First of all, HBO Max and Paramount Plus will be combined into one service. I 100% believe that. I gotta tell you though, I have a weird feeling they're not gonna put Paramount Plus stuff on HBO Max, but they're instead gonna put HBO Max stuff on Paramount Plus, so that way we can just have a shitty experience. Because Paramount Plus is the worst streaming app ever. It is so awful.
It's so bad, man.
Where the hell is my Eureka's Castle seasons?
Exactly.
Not to mention the video player keeps crashing because they have auto-playing video promos behind the episode list.
You know what I hate about the most? I'm assuming it's 2000. I hate whenever I want to pause something and like, I want to read something, shrinks the video to the corner.
Yep.
They still do that.
They still
do that.
They don't do it on certain TV apps. The Roku app they do. On the Sony TV app they don't.
They do on web. They do on browser, which I despise because like I want to read like what's like if it's a series where you need to read it to like understand the plot.
Watching Star Trek is hard because sometimes I want to read the little bio pages they put up, and then it's yeah. Blader says you can turn the auto playing feature off there. That's good. That's
it still lags like hell. Like
the other was it the day Starfleet Academy premiered, the app crashed 16 times before it would actually play the video.
I just remember like when I was watching Earthspark when it was coming out. I just remember like episodes just would not play until it took me a while. It took like multiple clicks for it to actually work. Even then, it was like the quality was so bad, like bad.
Mm-hmm.
I was like watching like 240p YouTube.
Not to mention the Paramount Plus app for iPhone is 7.5 gigabytes.
Why is it so big?
I have no idea. All right.
Oh,
let's do this next one. They say they'll do 15 films per studio with a 45-day theatrical window for each. Bullshit, you're doing 15 films per studio. Disney gets like 10 movies out a year, and they have Disney, Fox, Lucasfilm, Marvel, and Disney Animation.
They must have shrunk. They must have shrunk. I swear I saw one where they said 24 films per year.
No, they want 30 films per year. They need 15 for Paramount and 15 for Warner Brothers.
Yeah, there you go. That's what I saw. And
15 per studio. 30 films a year will not happen. No one can do that.
You know, you're just that's the manpower collapse. You know, like
the marketing, the overlapping marketing of it all. Like you can't do
that. When I see stuff like that, I think of my favorite joke from the Clerks animated series of the poor Korean animators in the it's like work, we are slaves. That's all I can think of with series like that because it's like. If you're releasing that, like I know there's different divisions, but 35 films per year, there's half of that's gonna be crappers because of rush production alone.
Exactly, and then also like they can't afford it with all their debt. Let me go see. I'm always gonna go pull up the list of movies released per studio because I know there's a list out there.
I'm gonna end this comment. How to bankrupt a company you just
exactly. I was gonna try to see if I could find this by. Let me go. Actually, let me go to this article here. Distributors movie breakdown for 2025. Thank you. The numbers. All right. Last year, 2025, Disney put out 15 movies. Warner Brothers put out 29 movies. Universal put out 40. This doesn't seem accurate. They did not put out this many movies.
This is kind of like international releases.
Paramount put out 16. No, I don't think this includes... Oh, these are not theatrical movies. These are also including streaming. This isn't helpful.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like,
all right, so you could put out 30 films a year if you include streaming, but they're saying 30 films with a 45-day theatrical window each. There are not
Yeah,
enough weeks in the year to do that.
Yeah, but I say in this scenario, they seems like that they're all gonna be showing movies eventually. In that scenario, like they're not gonna make streaming movies. They're gonna make movies that are gonna be in theater for a limited time and straight to streaming. Pretty much
Yeah.
is the way how they worded it. Pretty much.
This is insane. One studio can't do that. It's not. No. All right. Merged company will have approximately $79 billion in debt. If approximately means a margin of $20 billion in incorrect numbers, then sure. All right, $6 billion cost cutting, including additional consolidating on tech infrastructure, real estate, corporate overheads, and more. Yeah, they're probably going to sell off one of the lots. I don't think they're going to keep 2 movie lots. They're probably going to sell off some office space. They're probably going to, fire 400,000 people or whatever. All right. No plans to sell off, spin off any of their cable access. Flexibility to put sports like UFC on any cable network. They really love that UFC deal they got. They're really proud of that one. I don't know how many
That's like
people
the
that
only
care
thing
about UFC though.
That's the only thing I get. I get emails from Paramount talking about like UFC. I'm like, I don't even watch UFC. I like getting emails
Yeah.
of these.
They paid a lot of money for the
Listen,
UFC rights.
UFC is so lame.
It is.
You might as well just actually become an actual WWE, like TNA, AEW fan.
Also,
because at least matches actually live up to the hype usually.
As far as I know, and as far as I'm concerned, UFC's also annoyed the hell out of people because they showed up to the Golden Globes to do an award presentation, and everyone's like, "What? what do you mean UFC's presenting at the Golden Globes?"
If you don't know, UFC in the 2000s was actually a moneymaker, and it's doing so bad that's why TKO has had to like shift to WWE.
What wrestling program does Netflix have again?
AEW. And
Yeah,
WWE.
I think that.
No.
Like
yeah,
that.
Warner has,
wait.
Warner
has AEW, but AEW is independent. They're not going to get affected by this.
Yeah, but like when it comes to wrestling on shit, the Netflix, I know whenever Netflix does those,
Netflix
those are
is
always
WWE.
Successful.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's always
and
successful.
ESPN has the pay-per-views in North America.
Which funny enough, as we're speaking, I'm literally making a webcomic making fun of this whole ESPN Netflix thing with WWE.
Neat.
But just
I like it.
odd timing there. But
anyways, UFC also for everyone wanting to know, UFC is going to have a fight in the White House front lawn this spring.
Okay. I'm going to say this right now.
No.
Out of all the stupid shit MAGA did, this is actually the funniest, awesome thing ever. I'm just saying. This is actually
it's one of those things where you're like, every once in a while, a RoboCop headline comes across your feed, and then you're just like, wait, that's not satire.
I'm not gonna lie. I would back in the day as a kid, I stupidly actually asked my dad if there was ever wrestling at the White House. And my dad was like, "Why? It's not a venue." Like,
as Elmander pointed out, it's going to cost them like $1 billion because of infrastructure, because of security, because of all this other. It's like insane. And I guess because there's no East Wing anymore, they got room.
Yeah, you said you were worried that all this would be depressing, but like I'm glad it isn't because we could just it's so easy.
It is so easy to make fun of this shit, right?
It's so easy to take the piss out.
I think that was the coolest thing out of this so far is we're getting UFC at who would have thought, man? Man. Hey guys, let's get Ukraine and Russia over here to have the peace deals. So when the peace deals falls out, they can settle it in the octagon.
I did see somebody that was like, "Can we not have wars anymore? Can we just have presidents do one-on-one fights?"
Yes. It's gotta be what's that show called? Celebrity Deathmatch or something like that?
Yeah,
I remember that.
All right. Well, okay. Let me go back to the list of things. All right. They said they will continue to license movies and TV shows to other studios and platforms. Yeah, no duh. That's how you make money.
Yeah, that's the no duh scenario.
Tubi's got all the Cartoon Network stuff now. You might as well just rename Tubi to Cartoon Network and Friends.
No, as I like to call Tubi, it's my anime box.
Yeah. And then lastly, AI will be a tool for artists, but never a replacement for storytellers. Sure, Jan. Sure, Jan. But isn't that from a Paramount movie? Did I double that up like accidentally?
Was that from Megan?
No, it's from yeah. Anyways, moving on. All right, so here is the article, by the way, with that this is like the article. This is just the proof that it wasn't just a Discussing Film tweet we were reading from. Discussing Film just did the work. Brady Bunch movie. Thank you. Isn't
Yeah,
Brady
I said
Bunch
Brady
Paramount?
Brady
Bunch.
Bunch. I kept
Yes.
saying
Yeah.
that. Brady Bunch.
Yeah.
Uh,
Brady
Me
Bunch
and Jared
movie.
just looking at you like, God damn it, sound out.
Brain. All right. Also, I gotta
What
tell you
happened?
guys, we all gotta stop falling into psychosis because there was this whole thing that everybody was thinking Jim Carrey got cloned and sent to France.
yeah, I was seeing
Wait,
that.
what?
I was seeing.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I was- yeah.
We're gonna side
what
tangent to this because it's just the funniest thing that happened. Okay, so there was this photo of
Yeah,
Jim
I
Carrey
was
that
seeing
came
that.
out when he was accepting an award in France, where he was getting a Lifetime Achievement Award, right? And everybody was like, "That doesn't look like Jim Carrey," and everyone's like, "Yeah, he got Botox." And then a bunch of people were like, "No, it can't be him. Someone cloned Jim Carrey." And then like a drag performer like used an AI image of a fake Jim Carrey mask. Was like, "That was actually me in a mask," and everyone's like. And there was a bunch of people like, "Oh, I knew something was wrong," and then a bunch of people that were like, "No, what? That's an AI image, right?" And then they had to put out a whole article that was like the awards were like, he practiced on his French for months, and he's planned this visit since last summer. There's not a clone. Someone wasn't wearing a mask. He just looks different now.
Robotics real.
I know.
I saw like this post on Instagram, and everybody was saying like, "No, it's definitely a clone." It's, and I'm just
What?
That was
Why
my
did
go-to
anyone
joke.
just wanna
Someone was like,
believe it
"Did they
a really
clone
bad
him?" And I was
Botox?
like, "How do you think they filmed Sonic 3?"
Like, why did anyone want to believe like it was a really bad Botox job?
Right?
Come on.
because of they made
Remember,
up
Jim-
all the excuses in the comments. You should see it.
Remember,
Oh,
remember,
yeah.
guys. Remember, Jim Carrey's an anti-vaxxer, if I recall, too.
Yeah, I think he will. I don't know if he was like, he's not like a full, I don't think he's like a full, like, out, like, I'm telling you not to get vaccines, but I also know that he does not take vaccines. So, like, because the thing is, there's like two levels of anti-vaxxers, right? There's the people that just refuse to take vaccines, and there's the people that refuse to take vaccines and make it everybody else's problem. They're named RFK Jr.
Wasn't he one of the people who believed vaccines caused autism?
Yeah, that's the dumbest thing that is ever circulated. And now we have somebody in the government that says that, and now that's why measles exists again. Anyways, but yeah, like that's about it. Like, but the thing is that like, you know, like what was the thing I've said? Like, I said this to somebody's like, anti-vaxxers are a problem. I'm like, anti-vaxxers are a problem when they don't keep to themselves. Right? Like, if somebody just doesn't vaccine, it's like, fine, whatever, you know, your choice. But like, when you start making it everybody else's problem, it's like, all right, chill.
That's always that's what I always saying. If they're anti-vaxxer, fine, but like, shut up about it.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, like, the thing is, this whole clone conspiracy thing, I was just like, my god. Like, everybody's just lost their minds.
Plot of Sign movie 4, Agent Stone somehow managed to clone Robotnik.
They honestly should. They should do it, just like they did the joke where they were like one actor playing two different roles in a movie.
I'm actually taking screenshots so you guys can just see it in the chat of like people who legitimately believe it's a clone. And you're gonna be like, what?
Let me see these.
Yeah, I posted it.
Oh my god.
Come on.
It's waiting for it to load.
Don't you love how when you want to do something, it's like, haha, I'm gonna slow you down.
Yep.
You can't do things fast.
While it loads, I'll go to this last piece of... Oh, is it actually loaded? Okay, cool, because I have like one more story. Oh.
Like I said, last piss of something instead of like last.
Alright, I want to quote some of these. A comedian whose entire career is based off a face expression would never get Botox. Jim Carrey's been against Botox and plastic surgery and has said he enjoys aging and thinks it's natural and beautiful. So everyone who thinks it's a plastic surgery is great. It's not Jim. I don't care. It's actually really scary. Jim Carrey is literally an uncle to us, and he said, if I ever show up acting differently, it's not me. That's not Uncle Jim, period.
I also like how they spelled his name like he's Carrey, the horror movie monster.
Exactly. How do you don't even know your uncle's name?
Your acting of Jim is more believable than whoever this new Jim is. No joke. It was very odd seeing him so pleasant and reward show. He's been so opposed to these things since his awakening. The face can easily explained by plastic surgery. Him or not, this person has upper and lower eyelid surgery, hollow cheek filler, etc. The thing that gets me is his voice. I had to check out his thank you speech to see how his projected, because the red carpet interview where he spoke all his stories sounds so unlike him. Carrey's left-handed. That they keep way his right hand around. And Christopher gets eye-color shaded voices center.
This last comment is just the plot to G.I. Joe Retaliation when they figure out the president's Zartan. They're just like, he's using his left hand instead of his right.
It is.
Legit. When I saw those, I was like, what are y'all on?
Oh my god.
Now I want to go watch G.I. Joe Retaliation for one of my favorite jokes of that movie. Shut up, Brenda.
Oh god. I gotta tell you guys.
They never really explained why he kept calling her Brenda. Was it because it was her mom's name?
I don't know. I
forget.
think he just came up with Brenda out of nowhere. I feel like Bruce Willis just came up with that on the day too. I don't even.
No, knowing our luck, this is like the first signs of his physical and mental breakdown of his health.
He forgot that the
We're
character's
like,
name was
that's
Jay
funny.
and thought it was Brenda. Oh no.
Deep down, like it's
Oh,
like behind
God.
the scenes. Actually, that was the beginning of the.
So,
Oh,
coming back
Someone
around to
Google
the Jim
search
Carrey
this. Figure out the Brenda
situation,
story.
did something change with Jim
Oh, yeah.
Carrey's face?
I love what
Yes.
Blade Raider said about those comments.
Oh, was that what Billy C.
Exactly.
Badass said live? We're all dumber for having heard that.
I love that 18 Marcos. That should be the new G.I. Joe movie.
And also, Blade Raider also said, I think I'm a clone now. There's always a couple of me just hanging around. Did you guys see my videos in the late 2000s? I know a thing or two about cloning.
Yes, everybody on the 2000s.
Everybody. We didn't have casts. We just had to just, act against ourselves.
Everyone wants the clone Saga.
You know what's the funniest part about all this, guys?
Omega, Easy Rider, and
Linkara.
Linkara and
And
freaking
me.
Angry Video Game Nerd all have clones.
Yes.
Mhm.
Basically.
So, guys, I gotta tell you, it'd be
Oh,
really
y'all.
funny if the actual story behind why Jim Carrey looks different isn't Botox, it isn't plastic surgery, it's he got stung by a bee. He got stung by a bee.
Oh god.
Hey, she don't want to tell anybody.
Great. Now you can think of the Simpsons thing where Homer got
Guys,
stung by a bee.
he can't
But,
breathe in there.
Homer, a bee bit my bottom. Now my bottom's big.
Yeah.
What if this,
Wait. So you're telling me that the bee gave Homer a BBL?
Yeah, it did.
No. You know what'd be funnier? This is what Eggman's got to look at Sonic 44, but he didn't have enough time to take off the makeup.
Oh, God, this is just his look for the move. You know, it's funny too.
Right there.
It could be a whole variety of things. Like, what if he had a facial cream? Like, I'm noticing like there's some kind of like red. Now I'm starting to analyze the photo, but there's kind of some spots. Like, did he have a bad facial cream that gave him an allergic reaction?
What is this? The Catwoman movie?
Maybe. Anyways, clone conspiracy theorists. You probably don't have the right answer. You might have the right question. Just maybe not for this case. Start looking at other people that got cloned. I don't know.
What does that have to do with the Paramount?
I don't know. It just was on the side. I had to talk about it because it's hilarious. Damn variety
I'm glad you did,
sidebar.
'cause I was laughing when I saw those like 2 days ago. So.
Anything else good in the sidebar here? Oh, Tom Holland and Zendaya are married. Let me make the joke everyone made.
Finally.
Is Tom taking her last name? Is he just Tom now?
My favorite one is when they have a child, the Purpose Game will have Ernie, produced by Kevin Feige.
Produced by Kevin Feige's the name. Okay. Also, Harrison Ford had a really great SAG Lifetime Achievement Award speech last night. He was like, "It's weird to give me a Lifetime Achievement Award at the halfway point of my career."
I love leaving. What?
Okay, that's actually pretty smart. It's like halfway point of my career. You haven't done much lately, Harrison. Yeah, halfway point. You haven't
Halfway
done
point.
much.
I mean, he's on an Apple TV show right now, so he's still doing stuff.
I love Larry. What tangents has become?
Yes. All right, let's do the last part of the Paramount story, which is, all right, SAG Awards were hosted on Netflix last night, so Ted Sarandos was there, and I gotta tell, okay, I don't want to roast Ted Sarandos, but I'm going to because screw it, I don't care. Where's the picture of him in his pants?
Found out. Look at my camera real fast.
Dang it. They don't have a picture of him in his pants.
Oh, what was it?
Wheels finally got
I see.
breakdown.
Yeah.
He's breakdown.
It's here. It's here.
Breakdown.
All right, so anyways, finally got breakdown. I'm happy for you. All right, Ted Sarandos was at the SAG Awards because it was streaming on Netflix, and he was just wearing a button-up shirt, a suit jacket, and jeans, like a man that just did not care anymore.
Hey, you got free money from Paramount.
He got free money.
He showed up and he said, "Hi, everybody." I lost Paramount.
Exactly.
My
Hi,
bad.
hi, everybody. Hi, Ted Sarandos.
Yep. So, anyways, Ted Sarandos was just like, "You want to ask me about how the deal went?" So he had some very fun quotes. So he did an interview to Lucas Shaw at Bloomberg, and where he didn't mince words about losing at Paramount. So he said, let's see. So first of all, Shaw mentioned that Sarandos was dealing with an unusual other buyer, and Ted Sarandos had this to say about Paramount: "Unusual, yeah, unusual, irrational, whatever words you want to use in that." I think irrational is pretty good. It'll be fascinating to see the next steps. I have been on the record a lot in the last 2 weeks talking about what I think the future looks like. I'm confident in our future that we're not impacted by all that. In fact, maybe it's our advantage, but I hope I'm wrong for the sake of the industry. He's basically like, yeah, they're going to crash and burn, and that's going to mean our market share is going to go up, but that sucks for the
Hey.
industry.
Hey, we got K-pop team. Hey, do you want to talk about K-pop Team Hunters? We made another bill. We made another billion from it.
Exactly. Also, he spoke about the current president's political pressure and thought if it spooked Warner Brothers shareholders. And he said, what I think is actually the best quote out of this whole thing: "It's a lot cheaper to make noise than it actually is to raise your bid." So they tried that path first. Once it was clear that we weren't in the CNN business, it was a lot less interesting. He didn't care that much about our deal. Oh,
Say
so
what
thank
you
you for just
will about-
confirming what I thought after hearing the news.
Say what you will about the man. He's smart
Yep.
with his business stuff.
Smarter than business stuff.
He went to S-Mart.
All right, so
S-Mart.
when asked why Netflix ultimately decided to throw in the towel on the deal, he said, "We had a very tight range that we'd be willing to pay and made an offer back when we closed this deal. We hadn't moved much from that except for moving to cash, which served to move the deal faster. I'm happy where we got in, and I'm happy where we got out. We knew right away when we got the notice on Thursday that they had a superior offer and that the details of the deal, we knew exactly what we were going to do." Just called "Wear Jeans to an Award Show," because, you know what? He just made $3 billion and lost nothing. Good for you, Ted Sarandos. I hope you can enjoy the money to your grave, I guess. But no, like, for all the bluster and all the things going, like, honestly, like, Netflix was the winner of the deal because they got $3 billion to basically just back out and not overbuying for a studio or overpaying for a studio. So
it's the most like easiest cash money ever.
Yep. And I will say, I'm glad he also confirmed that there was political pressure that was part of that. Like, basically that, when Netflix was, when they were making a deal and Netflix was going to buy Warner Brothers, the current president was interested. He bought shares in Netflix and Warner Brothers when that deal was announced, but once he knew that Netflix really didn't want to do anything with CNN, was probably going to sell it off to somebody else, he no longer cared. So I think that covers everything. So now, chat, even though we've been kind of interacting with you for the last bit, you guys got any further questions about the whole Paramount Warner Brothers impending merger? Is what the official phrase is here.
The real question is, do you feel fucked?
Not yet.
I don't know. I don't think like I see a lot of people doom posting, which I can't. Like I understand.
I gotta tell you, the memes are the best kind of doom posting because
I love doom posting.
I love doom posting
right because they'll get so asinine they can't be real.
Maybe
Yep.
But like that's I don't want to go because let's say all of this could fully fall flat on our faces because how bad, as we mentioned.
As we talked about, the financials are not solid for this thing. I will say, I will start doom posting if it actually goes all the way through, and I'll be chanting for their demise. So, just so you guys know, the train does not stop here.
Would it be that something get feel like the post on the server?
What was that? Yeah, go.
Were you like? Were you burning the bridges between Paramount? Would it be that one summoning gift we like to post on the server?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Have you ritualing the?
I'll be ritualing. I'll be like, yeah, we need to take him down. I will say that, like, obviously, if it goes through, it's gonna be bad, like, for everything that we like. But I think the best thing to do to stay level-headed is to not worry about that part yet, right? They gotta clear a lot of hurdles, including the money thing. There is, there's a chance it all goes through, right? Like, there's no way that everything we said says that it will not go through, right? Like, there's a chance it'll still go through because the rich people don't like following rules, right? So it could still go through. But, as we've outlined, it going through may not be the best thing for Paramount either because of that massive amount of debt. So just because it goes through doesn't mean it's doomsday for everything, but there's an equal or even greater chance it doesn't go through because of all these things. The next thing Paramount's got to do is actually provide the cash to say, okay, now we can pay your $111 billion in cash. They haven't done that yet.
Let's see. Let's see. Alice K. What do you honestly think will happen to DC films in the future because of this? I honestly don't think anything will happen. Honestly,
I
to be
think
honest.
Gunn will not get fired or anything, because as much as like politically it seems like Ellison and Gunn are on two different sides of the spectrum, I think they have the same kind of vibe. You know, like I feel like they'll get along. But what I would be concerned about is if Ellison just starts like going, DC movies need to be making $1 billion each, because James Gunn's not going to be able to do that.
I think it's more of the scenario of, I think they know Gunn. It's just that people want Gunn on DC because like if Gunn, they know his meme is too like right now currently Gunn's meme is like too precious for them right now. So like if they fire Gunn, there goes half your money. Pretty much.
If I'm going to be honest, Gunn's name is like the only thing holding DC up at the moment.
Yeah. Gunn's name is, like when people hear after the success was of Superman, they know Gunn's name is like a big thing right now. So like I don't think they want to touch him, like because they know that's a moneymaker right there with him.
I have a feeling they're going to fire Peter Safran though, because that guy seems like he doesn't do anything at DC, right? Like, I have a weird feeling they're like, we need to cut this down. What do you mean you got 2 CEOs of DC Studios? You got one now, and it's the one with the name that people recognize. Yeah. That's why I kind of feel like that would be like one of the things. Also, in terms of Paramount affecting the actual stuff they produce, like obviously outside of like hiring like Max Landis, for example, I don't know if they're going to touch anything as it is, because I think, you know, there was a discussion that Blade Raider Blade Raider's on fire today. Anyways, I think that, like, you know, if you know Paramount lives up to the nickname I gave them and they just go full on like far right, like we hate anything that doesn't have a penis, like full bore, their company's never going to make any money, because if you want to make money in Hollywood, you have to appeal to multiple demographics at once, right?
Also, I don't think a lot of people work with them, because like I don't think Seth Rogen. I don't think Seth Rogen will work with them ever again, for example, like that.
Exactly. And like adding to that, like, you know, if you look at like the stuff that like people like Brett Ratner and Max Landis make, they don't make money. Like there's not a big enough audience for it. Like the people who are extremely far right don't watch movies and TV shows. They watch news programs and podcasts 24/7. So making movies and TV shows to appeal to them will never work, because they're not going to break from watching news programs and podcasts.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like memes like Seth Rogen would sell. Memes.
Yeah.
Like Seth Rogen would sell and all that stuff. But like I don't think Max. Who the hell is Max Landis? Who the hell is Brett Ratner?
Exactly. And so what'll happen to Warner Archive? Who knows? I don't actually know, because the smaller parts of Warner Brothers are the things that we have no idea about. They've never spoken about the home video division or DC Comics or any of those other things. They only really talk about the movie studio, the streaming service, the news organizations, and WB Games was mentioned.
Like also for them, I see people talk about. Like, I don't think they're gonna touch the comics. I honestly legitimately think
comics nobody ever touches comic companies. You notice that?
I really think comics.
Comic companies.
Because
time I'll work for the administration. Let me work for the comics.
That's the thing. I literally think comics are like literally like we joke about like the money right now, but I literally do think comic licensing is chump change by the looks of it.
It is. Like nobody gets paid that well in comics. They don't cost that much to produce. But you know what? To a big movie studio, do you know what a comic company is? An IP farm. It's low risk for them. It doesn't cost that much money. It brings revenue in, and then they get creators to create ideas for them that they can just farm for other projects forever.
And they don't touch those. Like they don't touch the comics at all. Pretty much, it's pretty much
Disney doesn't even touch Marvel. Like we talk about MCU synergy, but from the way it's talked about, it's not like Disney's like, you need to change Miss Marvel's powers. It's like CB Belusky's like, we should change Miss Marvel's powers to match the MCU. Like the editors are doing it themselves. They're not being
Well,
told
is
to
it?
do it.
I think the only time where that was happened was the whole X-Men Fantastic Four, right? That's
Yeah,
the
that
only
was the
time where
one
they got
time
involved.
that Marvel said, no more of this, no more of that. Because that was the
That's
only time,
marketing.
though. Yeah,
That was because that's marketing the competition
yeah.
in Disney's eyes.
And that was it. They don't touch the comics as much as we think. Because you read quotes from people like Tom Brevoort, who's in charge of the X-Men comics, and he's saying stuff like, oh, we want to align with what the Disney company's doing. It doesn't sound like he's being told by, like, Bob Iger, you need to do this. It sounds more like he thinks that's what's going to make their stuff sell better.
I mean, for God's sakes, Disney and WB trusted Dynamite. It's I don't it's practically a no-main company in terms of the major comics. You think what Disney, Marvel, DC, Marvel, and maybe Image.
DC, Marvel, Image are like the big three, but even Image is so much farther behind DC and Marvel.
Yeah, no one knows Dynamite. And yet they just gave Dynamite the Disney and WB IPs. Like, yeah, go it. And literally, they just go like, here.
And they're allowed to do whatever they want, it seems, because there's stuff in the like Gargoyles comic. I'm like, doesn't seem like Disney would have approved this, but they did because it's just like, yeah, just make your comics. Nobody really worries about comics that much. J Pocket, good point.
I do.
It was less because of Disney, more like Ike Perlmutter hated the X-Men and Fantastic Four being owned by Fox and said, yes, that's right. That was a single executive's personal vendetta that caused the X-Men and Fantastic Four comics to go away. That was less so the Disney company was like, don't do this, don't do that. Perlmutter was on a vendetta trip. And he was in charge of marketing and licensing and stuff, and that's why he had purview over it. So, I think DC Comics will be fine because they're not dumb enough to get rid of it because it makes money and it's an IP farm, right? Nobody else has the comic book industry is the only IP farm industry to exist in the corporate mindset, right? Like comics is a beautiful medium, but corporate mindset is this just makes us free IP that we don't have to pay for.
Have you ever heard the story of Cowboy Aliens?
Oh yeah, tell that story.
It was a comic that only got made to be a movie.
Yes. They specifically made the comic book to make a movie adaptation of it. That was the whole purpose behind it. That happened. There's another comic that's like that.
So which one is he talking about?
Cowboys versus
Cowboys.
Oh, I'll tell you one. I'll tell you one. It was great. It was called The Covenant.
Yeah.
It's actually the first time I ever saw The Winter Soldier, and I'm gonna tell you this right now. To this day, I still quote the line to some people. I'm gonna make you my weeach.
That was also a comic that was made specifically to become a movie. Yeah, so as long as there's not somebody that has...
The funny story about that, too,
yeah.
was it was supposed to be a transmedia experiment, because I think someone associated with Starlight Runner Entertainment, not Jeff himself, but someone there, pitched the idea of, let's make this graphic novel and movie, and then make novels. Like they thought it was going to be like...
Mm-hmm.
I think it was a Starlight Runner early idea of them trying to, make their own IP, I think. Or someone associated who went to Starlight Runner worked on that film.
Let's see. Hellfire. Is it possible that WB being soft? I'm not sure about that because I feel like that's their only game. Like Paramount didn't really have a game division. They just licensed their IP to their things to other companies. So maybe they want to keep WB games just have some fun in the video game industry.
I think they definitely want to have some footing in the video game industry since video games keep overtaking movies. So yeah, I think they're going to keep it. I will also say,
here's the real question.
Yeah.
Was this all we had to talk about?
Well, yeah, we're done with the news. This is all just Q&A. I just wanted to make sure everybody got their questions answered.
Oh, so we're done. We're actually done. Oh, okay.
We finished the news, yeah, because we saved the Paramount news for last, and then had a tangent into clone Jim Carrey.
Yeah,
his life is weird. Yeah, but yeah, I think we just about covered everything in terms of that.
Okay, because I got a crazy dream I got to tell you, Soundout, that I can't say on air. And
okay.
I also need you to help me make sure I verified my stuff at Bandai before 9 o'clock or whatever.
Yeah, we can do that in a couple
minutes. I don't know what the hell they mean for verify your phone because I did it, but I don't have any proof that it's verified.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. Yeah, we'll talk about it in a few minutes. I was gonna say if you guys had any other chat had any other last questions, we'll stick around for
What's the
four
A-
more minutes.
what's the AT&T DC Conspiracy Brandon Burwell
When
talked about? Was that
AT&T bought DC, they fired a bunch of people at DC Comics as part of a
okay?
downsizing initiative. The thing is, this is I don't know if this is hopium, but the thing is, DC Comics was downsized by AT&T, and when Zaslav came in, he didn't downsize DC Comics because it was already downsized. So I don't think that if Paramount were to own Warner Brothers, they would downsize DC again because it's so small as is. Everybody's freelance. Everybody's freelance right now.
Mm.
So they are not. It's not costing them that much money to run the company. So
Olga 999.
I don't really see any effect to it because what AT&T did is they took DC from a fairly large company and made it into a small company, and then everybody's just passed around the small company because it's again an IP farm. That makes money.
Olga Olga 999. What do you think will happen to Warner Archive?
Same thing as DC. Everybody's freelance, so I don't think anything would change.
I think also because Warner Paramount is one thing at least they do decently is home media. They're actually not that bad with home media, honestly.
They actually release their streaming stuff to disc pretty quick after it comes out on streaming. So, yeah, but everybody at Warner Archive, from what I understand, I think except for the head guy, is like salaried, but everybody else is freelance. So, yeah. Yeah, I think that pretty much covers it. I mean, I think as we're saying, like, this is going to be, I think that this is going to be a long process. As much as like Paramount's like, oh, we'll get it done in 6 months. I don't think it's going to get done in 6 months. I think we're looking to another year. We're looking at another year. We're not going to update every single little step of the way, but we will
any
update.
big news we'll cover. We'll probably any big news we'll cover. We'll keep you guys up to date. But like up to date. But like the moral of the story is let's not doom post yet. Nothing's final. And if
we have other things
ever,
we can doom post about, this is not one of them.
If it ever does happen, let's remember that we have each other to fight. Have each other. And stuff like that. There's a great quote from Icon Rocket Season 1 that after all the recent news, really fits. Sometimes being a beacon of light can bring out the darkness in others. Those who profit from misery, but that doesn't mean you stop doing good. To conquer evil, we had to outlast it. That's a great quote from that comic.
In other terms, be petty enough to outlive them.
Yeah.
Yep. I think it's a great way to do it. It's just like, and also like keep our realities in check. Like, just because it seems unlikely that it's going to go through, like it still could. Let's not be shocked if it does, right? It's a 50-50 shot on whether or not it'll go through, and I think that 50-50 shots are good to keep us grounded. I know for me that like I got like way too hyped up about this. I was like, oh, Paramount raised their bid. All right, Netflix bid more. And I didn't even think about like how much the bid was. And like, yeah, of course Netflix wasn't going to bid more than $111 billion. Like, that's insane. And then, so I think that like you got to just like, you just keep it real, keep it reasonable, keep it realistic. I think like, especially with the way things have been going like this year, I'm trying to keep myself from
Hi guys, we're only the dirty month of March.
It's only March. Yeah, exactly.
All
it's
this
just
crazy shit's been happening.
Yeah, and that's a good point, Blade Raider. This is less Doomsday, more just salty about my escapism being caught in all this crap. I think that's kind of like the thing that's been bugging all of us is that, the stuff that we use to escape reality is infected by reality, right? Like, did I think I had to talk this much about the current, like, presidential administration on this channel? I was going to avoid it because I stick to, our fictional worlds. I stick to, like, the entertainment industry. I stick to, like, Blu-rays and comics and toys. I kind of keep it fun. I don't like to, drag us into the current, political situation, which is a freaking nightmare. So I haven't really, discussed it because I try to keep the show focused and I try to make it so it's like, you come to the show, we're doing a show, we're entertaining, we're talking about entertainment, talking about like, fiction and stuff. It keeps it fun. Like this show is a part of escaping reality. And then stuff like this happens where it directly affects the entertainment industry and the escapism that we go with, and so then it becomes part of the conversation. And luckily, we've been able to keep it fun because a lot of these headlines are freaking clown shoes. But
What is love?
exactly, it is a clown show, and so it's fun to make fun of it because that way we got this. And then also, I think the other key thing in particular is that this is a subject I know. I know the entertainment business well. It's the thing I've studied and I know the best knowledge of. So I can talk about this with knowledge and basis and have an ability to streamline the information because a lot of stuff gets out there and misinformation spreads easily because you have people that don't know what they're talking about things they don't know what they're talking about, and it becomes an infinite loop of like, you know, a game of telephone where nobody knows what was actually said into the phone, right?
Okay, you can send this stream once it's done to people who want to know what's going on.
Yes, and you can tell them there's a random 15-minute tangent about Jim Carrey at the last third of it. I might even give that its own chapter marker.
Let's call it the Jim Carrey Clone Saga.
Exactly. So, with all that said, it's really hard to yeah, it's tough out there, and so that's why I think that like us covering it is important, especially because, you know, I know a lot about politics, but I'm not a politics streamer, and so I don't want to be like always discussing it. But when it comes to the entertainment industry, I do know that, and so I can take all my knowledge and make it easier for you guys and joke about it, have fun with it. Like, you know, that's the best way to kind of deal with it, right? They want us to be, you know, they want to take our joy from us forever. Well, guess what? Screw them. We can have our own joy, even in the midst of all the crazy shit going on left and right. You know, like we can have our own fun with this. It'll be a good time. So, on that note, we'll see what next week brings us because I have no idea what the news cycle is going to be. This one was already a roller coaster ride. Like, it was already weird. We'll see what next week brings us.
It's funny. It is funny
yeah.
that the stream with big major political news is the shortest stream we have in a while.
It is true. Like, and the only reason is because there wasn't that much other news otherwise. I mean, that Seven Seas merger kind of threw in some extra time. But, yep. So yeah, no, I'm glad everybody enjoyed the stream, and I think this was fun. And I could also use the break because I need to go edit a short to submit to a sponsor to get that approved, so it can come out this week in the time frame they wanted. And I think we're good. So I think we're good. I think we're ready to plug and dip.
Kaus, what do you do tomorrow?
I stream Persona 5 Royal. We're inching further and further towards fighting Char Aznable.
Yes.
It makes
English
sense.
and Japanese. Both English and Japanese.
Yep.
All right. Well, I'm excited about
I just
that.
injected a whole bunch of Sawano into my veins, so now I'm hyped.
Hell yeah.
Wheels, what's our site? And what do we do Wednesdays?
Hero-Club.com. 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 Follow us across social media using Hero Club for Life. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Blue Sky. Streams on Wednesdays, Fridays, Twitch.
Check the chat. Ryan, your links are in the description.
You can follow me at Darko3 on Blue Sky and YouTube. The art commission like the one in this very channel. You want any proof of the DM or Blue Sky or through Discord, through Sound, Discord Protocol? Link in the description below.
Yeah. And this week on the channel, there's going to be 2 sponsored shorts. And Wednesday's video is going to be talking about DC Finest versus DC Compendiums, and then all those other weird books in between. And then Friday's video will be the One Piece home video history, which I have written, but I haven't filmed yet. Let me go. Actually, before we dip, I do want to check how many pages of notes I have for the home video history. Let's find out.
Do you want to show the notes for the viewing guide?
That's okay. The notes for the home video history is currently 12 pages.
How many pages is the viewing guide?
I think viewing guide's at 13, and I haven't added details yet.
Oh dear.
13 is just the base notes. Also, for those wondering, the home video history for One Piece will include the 4Kids dub DVD releases.
Oh shit.
Yep, going all in.
I forget. Did some of those like Mattel One Piece toys come with DVDs or no?
I'm not gonna look. That's not a problem I'm worried about right now. You guys, the page 12 of the document is the list of things that have never been released. That's going to be a whole section in and of itself. So, we will see you guys next week.
Do you have a section of which ones are dubbed and which ones aren't?
Yes, I have it all laid out. I think because everything that came out on disc has been dubbed. Everything that didn't come out on disc hasn't been dubbed. It's pretty much, well, aside from some episodes. But anyways, we'll talk about that on Friday. And then next week will be the One Piece viewing guide, which I am having to go into. I've been watching videos because I decided to add in video games.
You better put on like a Luffy cosplay or something like that.
Oh, I got my hat. I kind of had the plan is that like I got my Luffy hat for the pre-time skip part of it, and then I'll put on my Law hat for the post-time skip part.
I'm pretty sure Luffy's not that hard to cosplay. You just need to find a red vest and blue jean shorts or something.
I know, but I could wear my Universal Studios Luffy t-shirt and that'd work. I have jeans already, so. Anyways, I will do fun stuff for the viewing guide. It also has to be shot in a different location than my normal viewing guides because house rearranging.
Also, I mean, weird to talk about One Piece with a Master Universe shelf behind you.
Exactly. I was going to try to see if I could figure out how to do it with the One Piece stuff behind me, but we'll figure that out. That's next week's problem. This week, I can get that viewing guide done. I'm going to be an adventure. You guys don't realize how many weird things happen with them. Toei does not let anything release normally. Alright, we'll see you guys next week for another great stream. Thank you all for tuning in, and have a good one.